Good evening. Whilst Manchester City are making the rest of the big boys reassess what it takes to be the best, Burnley are the team surpassing everyone's expectations. They sit fourth coming into tonight's set of matches, and if they're overachieving, tonight features two teams who know they must do better as the second half of the season approaches. Arsenal, who are right in the thick of that top four scrap, and the Hammers, fighting for their Premier League future under the new man in these parts, David Moyes. So, welcome to the London Stadium, where West Ham are looking to build on their first home win in over 2 months against Arsenal's side, who've only won 2 on the road in the league all season. Kick-off here is at 8 o'clock. And it's lovely to have you along with us this evening. As you can see, I've got a Gooner and a Hammer with me this evening, Martin Keown and Rio Ferdinand. Look, let's go straight to the league table, Martin. How do you feel as an Arsenal fan taking a look at this? Defeat tonight could leave them 4 points outside the top 4.
Well, I mean, you know, I know I go back to the 2014 when you think now how far Arsenal have sunk. I know maybe there are 2 different tiers when you look at City. They're just running away with it, and Arsenal, okay, they're in touch, aren't they, with everybody else? But they've got to win tonight. Their away record has been shocking. You know, to have lost 4 games on the road is really not good enough. Just two wins. Yeah. Wenger's got to turn. There's no consistency. They've become a cup team now, and they were champions, and by some street as well. To go unbeaten and then to fall to this, yeah, it's pushing the patience of the Arsenal fans. Absolutely, and we'll talk about Arsenal in great detail.
What do you think of the atmosphere around here this evening? You've been walking around, talking to a few Hammers. It feels very different to a couple of weeks ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago, this was a morbid place to be. The Liverpool game after that, I was around there, and you sensed that the fans had had enough. And they wanted a change, and they've got what they wanted, and there's a sign of a bit of confidence creeping back into the place. Still much to do. They beat the current champions at the weekend, which is a great step in the right direction, but there's still work to be done, but they're stepping hopefully in the right direction. They're going to be looking down hopefully in a couple of weeks.
You hope so?
I hope.
With a wry grin on his face. Well, let's have a look at the teams then. As Rio mentioned, they overcame Chelsea at the weekend, and that means that David Moyes has trusted the side that started that game. Of course, he's made plenty of changes since he's come in. The names there, such as Adrian and Martin Noble, all getting a chance. Marco Arnautovic really finding some form as well. Mikel Antonio was also brilliant in that victory over Chelsea. But the Arsenal team is really interesting. Olivier Giroud, his first Premier League start of the season. Jack Wilshere's first Premier League start of the season. Maitland-Niles, his first Premier League start of his career. And Iwobi also starts tonight. Look, Arsene Wenger had to make changes, didn't he, after that game against Southampton and the defeat in the match previous to that to Manchester United. What do you think of that starting lineup tonight?
Interesting that Wilshere is back into the team. Maitland-Niles has done well. What's significant is he went to a 3 this time last year. Now he's gone back to a 4. He probably feels that it's not working. Giroud coming in at the top of the team as well is another significant change. Now, I like Giroud coming on at the end of the games.
So this is the way that he set up against Southampton, and we can see the change tonight. He's gone from a 3 to a 4, if we take a look at that. And it also allows Jack Wilshere to come in there in the middle of the park and Olivier Giroud up front. Do you prefer this Arsenal team with a back 3 or a back 4, Martin?
I was never a big fan of the back 3. I know that it was in vogue last year, Chelsea were playing it, but I always felt that the wing-backs, it's a disproportionate amount of work that they have to do. You can be exposed in wide positions. I think we need to look at Man City and the way that they're playing with a back 4, and you know that's sort of a concrete platform to build off. And I know that Wenger, for 20 years, that's the system that he played. I'm not sure that the players have picked it up well enough. There's mistakes when they've changed from a 3 to a 4, actually within the games, they look like they're still playing in their sort of wing-back positions, and the players don't seem to adapt very quickly. So it'll be interesting tonight to see how they go back into a 4.
What do you think, Ree?
I think it's been reactive to what was going on in the Premier League last season. Like Martin said, the 3 at the back became a fashionable thing to do last season. I think that Arsene Wenger, knowing his history and how he used to set his teams up, I never played against an Arsenal team that played a back 3. It became fashionable, and he's been responding to what other teams have played. So I think it's difficult. I think the personnel within this squad, I think they find it hard to play a back 3. I don't think it suits them as well.
OK, well, it's back to a back 4 tonight and 4 changes for Arsenal. Let's hear from Arsene Wenger. He's with Des.
Arsene, you've been getting off to a slow start in the last couple of Premier League games. Is that something to address tonight?
Yes, we had the problem to start the games, yes, but I believe just let's focus on playing from first minute on our game and not focus too much on what happened.
Number of changes, start 4 in fact. It looks like he could be going to a back 4 because Maitland-Niles comes in, makes his first start. It's a great chance for him.
Yeah, he has done well in the Europa League, and in training as well, so he gets a chance tonight. And over this Christmas period, of course, you rotate a bit more than usual, and so he gets his chance.
It's a fascinating side, in fact. In the midfield, though, Ramsey's injured. Big chance for Wilshere. First Premier League start for Arsenal in 19 months.
Yeah, he had an injury problem at the start of the season. You know, came back from a fracture, and slowly he became stronger. And the Europa League helped him to be competitive again. And for him as well, it's the first start, as you said, and it's a good opportunity. And
also Olivier Giroud, a reward for getting that point at the weekend. He's been waiting for his chance too.
No, like I said, despite all that was said, you know, I played him a little bit with his growing problem, and I don't want to go overboard. And Olivier Giroud is doing well as well. Many times I repeated that. For me, it's no regular. You know, Giroud is a regular player for us, and yes, as you said, he came on the other day and gave us a point again.
Of course, West Ham, the opponents, beat Chelsea at the weekend. You expect a similar kind of performance from them, that sort of gritty, determined play?
Yes, you prepare always your opponent in the Premier League to be fully committed. That's what they did against Chelsea. They defended well. They were very sharp on the breaks, you know, and you expect on our side to face that same kind of spirit.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
I think spirit is exactly what they've managed to find around here in the last couple of matches. Olivier Giroud, 17 goals now for Arsenal as a substitute. Super sub, though, is not the role he wants to be playing, is it?
No, but he's remained intelligent and he's shown a good attitude. Sitting on the bench, not every player that can cope with this situation. Very strong in the air, as we know. He scored some remarkable goals. I think when Arsenal, later in the games, need to change the match and go more direct, I think that suited him. Now, he's starting tonight. I'm not sure it will suit him, but he's got a point to prove. You know, as he said, basically, publicly, to the rest of the world, pointing at his shirt when he scored that vital equaliser against Southampton. Look, don't forget about me, and I told you so. He's got a bit of an arrogance to his play. I don't feel, I mean, listen, if I was still playing, he's not a player I'd be concerned about, but when the ball comes in the box, he gets his head on it. He's not the quickest. There he is there.
Pointing
it's
to
Mr. Giroud.
And then he looks at the bench, doesn't he, and he says, I told you so. I told you so. There he is. Just explain what you mean by you don't think starting suits him. Do you mean starting doesn't suit him, or starting doesn't suit Arsenal?
I don't think it suits Arsenal. Sorry to cut you, Mark. I think Arsenal play a particular way, which is pass and move, 100%. Movement, dynamic. That's not his game. Get the ball in the 18-yard box. This guy comes alive. I don't think there's many better in the Premier League when the ball comes in the box to attack the ball in the Premier League at the moment. Giroud is one of the guys, the top three you'd want on the end of it.
It's like a different tool in the box, and Arsenal have found a different way to win a game or get points, and he's been vital to them. But to start a match, when the ball's on the deck and they're incisive, I'm not sure that that's really going to work, but we maybe prove wrong tonight.
But for Arsenal, not for him, because there's a World Cup coming up at the end of this season, and he either needs to be playing regular football, or he might be losing his place to his teammate, who's keeping him generally out of this side.
And I think if Giroud actually continued what he's doing at the moment, coming off the bench and impacting games with goals and performances, I think that's something that the France manager will take into account and say that'll do for me in this coming tournament.
So he becomes a sub for France then, if he carries on being a sub for Arsenal?
Yeah, but he can earn the right to play like he's done today. He's earned the right to play because he's come off the bench, he's stayed in tune, he's come on and affected games. He's earned the right to go and play today against West Ham. He'd probably do that for France as well.
It's a strange dynamic, isn't it? Lacazette, you know, doesn't start for the national team, but he starts for Arsenal, and Giroud vice versa. So I think there's a bit of healthy competition there. There's respect, but Giroud now tonight. Yeah, when we play the national team, I'm the number one, and I'm the number one for Arsenal as well, and I'll show you tonight. And if he plays like that, then that position becomes his.
He's been bubbling and frothing on the bench in the last few games. It'll be interesting to see if he can channel that out there this evening. So he's in because of his performances off the bench and the way he's played in the Europa League. And Jack Wilshere also starts tonight. Arsenal fans have been asking for this for a few weeks now. And again, it's largely because of the 90 minutes he's been putting in the Europa League, and he's impressed. He's looked fit.
He has really. This is the fittest he's looked for many a year, and I think this is almost like his final chance at Arsenal now, because he's promised so much over the years, and the Arsenal fans he's promised them so much, and they've expected, but injuries have held this kid back. And listen, receiving the ball, he's one of the best England have seen in the last few years. His touch, his awareness, but it's what he does after that that's going to really amount to what he is. Does he affect games enough in terms of assists, goals? I mean, if you look at his position, someone who can run with the ball and take the ball to opponents, takes them out of the game. But then after that, you want to see assists. You want to see goals in that position. And I think that's what he needs to bring to his game. But he needs to be doing that on a consistent basis. Aligned to that, he needs to stay fit.
Wenger, though, sees him as a special player. He loves him, treats him like his own son. and he's had to nurture him because he's had many injuries. Now, first step one, he has to be regularly available. He's just played 5 games back-to-back in Europa League, 90 minutes. Not done that for a long time. So that's the first journey done. The performances have improved game after game. He's incisive. He runs with the ball in that midfield like no other player. And he wants to be an Arsenal player. You know, we're saying Ozil has been offered that many contracts and he doesn't necessarily want to sign it. Jack Wilshere does. And if he comes back into form, for me, I'd play him for the rest of the season because he has that little bit of extra quality. He'd be watching the England games and thinking, all manner of players now are playing for England ahead of me. It can open up for him. His career opens up, but he is. Yep. He's in that last chance saloon.
I still see Jack Wilshere as potential because he's never sustained an amount of time in the first team to say, actually, you know what, he is the main man at Arsenal because he hasn't stayed fit. It's difficult to say because so many injuries can take so much out of players. And has he still got that yard of pace that he had before when he first came on the team that took you back and went, whoa, this kid's got something special?
It's 25.
If he's still got that, then you can say, yeah. But somebody who hasn't played enough games back-to-back, well, I still see that as potential.
I just see it as being Jack's night. This has to be his night now. So there's talk of him coming to West Ham.
What does he have to do to make it his night?
Take the game by the scruff of the neck and run that midfield.
Assists and goals. I need to see end product. I want end product. If I'm sitting behind someone who plays it, I want to see end product. I want to see assists, chances created, and goals affect the game. And I think he's got the talent to do that. He's a fantastically talented player.
And do you both want to see him on the plane to Russia in the summer?
Performances will tell us. You can't just say just because of potential, just because of what you've done in the past, you deserve to be on a plane. You've got to produce performances to warrant
one
that.
step at a time. Nothing else but this game tonight matters for Jack Wilshere. You know, it should be in his hands. Go and play and run the game and love it.
Yeah, don't think about England. Think about Arsenal. That's where your bread's buttered. Think about Arsenal. And I can't wait for it. Hopefully he can produce.
Arsene Wenger's best night in football was Arsenal when they beat Barcelona. Arshavin, Nazari, Wilshere running the midfield. He hasn't had that for a long time. He wants Jack back in that. He's an important piece of the jigsaw.
Best night in football.
That was his best night when they beat Barcelona because it was total football and he outplayed the best people.
I always knew that on a cold Wednesday night in Stratford we'd end up talking about Arsenal against Barcelona.
Did they win anything? Did they win? What did they win
won
that
nothing,
year?
fella.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but Wenger, that was his vision of football that night, and it hasn't had it since.
Thank you, Martin. Right, plenty more to talk about, and we're going to get right into the heart of the Hammers up next. Just how do they repeat the trick they pulled off against Chelsea? We'll talk about that next.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Where's the bloody Air Force?
They've activated the civilian boats.
Civilians? We need destroyers.
Dunkirk on the BT Player from BT TV.
Christmas is cinnamon with Schwartz.
When this was fun, you said there was nothing I couldn't do.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Okay, Google, how far is 520 Broadway? Show me pictures of peony bouquets.
The watch that brings your life to life.
Available at Beaverbrooks.
When kids get really excited about my children's books, that's the best reaction.
I know things about great white sharks.
What's great about Paint 3D, it's exciting to see a shark come to life and come off the page. With the Windows 10 PC, to be able to draw right on the screen and create something three-dimensional is amazing. It's exciting to turn it and light it and have these different effects. With my Mac, I can't do that. When you see that the work creates a feeling in a kid, it feels great. And it's addictive. You want to keep doing it, you know?
What's this? He's using the new odds boost feature from Ladbrokes. He's weighing up his options. He's got a chance to do something special here. Oh, great clicking from the lad. He's lining up the top right. He's hit the odds boost. Look how his odds are boosted instantly. Let's go to the replay. That's a belter from his right finger. Unbelievable. New odds boost from Ladbrokes. Download the app when the fun stops, stop.
Being from the olden days, Royal London know that someday pretty much everyone could get seriously ill.
Even you?
Yeah, and you.
What's the point?
Oh. That's why some of their life insurance plans come with Helping Hand. You get your own dedicated nurse and other things like second medical opinions and help at home. You might not want to, but ask your financial advisor about Helping Hand today.
The ship is trapped. BB-8 can set it free. But after a while, his batteries aren't strong enough. With Duracell's best formula, your BB-8 toy performs stronger for longer. So you've got the power to escape the dark side. And lasts up to 15 hours longer in your lightsaber toy. Duracell Ultra Power. Stronger power for longer. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Only in cinemas.
Captain.
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 Captain. Captain.
Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain.
Dave.
Captain Dave.
Just Dave, actually.
Captain Dave. Captain!
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Evening, welcome along. You stay nice and warm and just let us do all the hard work here under the lights in the London Stadium. West Ham against Arsenal. Team news for you is interesting as far as Arsenal are concerned. Olivier Giroud, there he is. He makes his first Premier League start of the season, and the same applies to Jack Wilshere. Many Arsenal fans wanting him back in the starting lineup. Tonight they get their wish. And as far as the changes to the defence go, Mertesacker out. Ainsley Maitland-Niles with his first Premier League start of his career. For West Ham, well, they're unchanged after that stubborn display against the leaders, followed by 3 points against the champions. Is the tide finally beginning to turn?
They have a new manager and they have new hope.
The better team won today.
This is Richarlison, and that's two.
We'll need to play much better if we're going to get ourselves away from the wrong end of the table.
And yet again, West Ham United concede the first goal.
We've still got a long way to go.
The equaliser, it's scrappy.
I thought the players' performance merited more. I've had great times here, but we've got to get 3 points.
And Joe Hart makes a save, and Rooney puts in the rebound. And Rooney can make it 2-0. And that's Rooney for a goal. Oh my goodness me, that is amazing.
We were too easy to play against, and that's the hard bit to take.
There's the header. There's the goal for West Ham.
For long periods, I thought it was going to be our day.
Tucked in this time. There's Silva.
We're gutted that we lost it.
On now to me, scores!
We're beating the champions today.
Magic for boys!
What a great result for us.
David, this was meant to be a nightmare run of fixtures, but that victory over Chelsea certainly changed the picture somewhat. Gave everybody a boost, including yourself.
Yeah, put a smile on my face and most of the West Ham supporters as well. But we need to do it again tonight. We set a really high standard. We've been up against good teams, Man City, Chelsea, really good teams, and up against another good team tonight. So we'll need to have a performance very similar if we're to get us something out of the game.
The same sort of discipline, the same sort of character, the same sort of just fight throughout?
Yeah, I can't see it any other way. You know, I think with a level opposition, you know, we need to do good jobs on them. We need to try and be concentrated all the time at the back because they're very good, you know, in and around the box. They've got a different dimension tonight with Giroud, which we might have to deal with maybe some more crosses than normally what Arsenal would deal with. But we've got a couple of forwards what I think can cause them problems if we can get them in the right areas and get the ball to them.
You stuck with the same starting 11, which is understandable. But have you been surprised at Arsenal's changes? It looked like they've gone to a back four and they've brought Wilshere in. Maitland-Niles makes his first start in the Premier League. So they're a different kind of side tonight.
Well, I think this week with 3 games this week, I think the managers have all got big decisions whether to play the players because, you know, the 3 games in a week can take its toll, especially around this time of the year. But also, I think Arsenal have got some injuries. We have as well, but we've had a really good result on Saturday and we felt the best way to go was to go with the same team.
Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
You get the impression the Arsenal lineup's just giving David Moyes a little bit to think about tonight. But when you look back to the sort of last few days of Slaven Bilic, it's crystal clear, isn't it, what David Moyes has done since he's come in here. And that has just become hard to beat.
Yep, the intensity has gone up. He's definitely would have tried to make him fit. This is Savon's last game against Liverpool. I mean, lackadaisical probably doesn't even do it justice. Look, ambling there to get back. This is an unbelievable athlete. Faces people up square, half-hearted tackles, communication zero. I mean, all sorts of problems within this team at this time. Confidence levels on the floor, and you don't communicate, you don't have any intensity in your team desire, you get punished. And the crowd here were calling for a new face. It came in, and this is what David Moyes has done. This is what is all about his teams. You see here Hazard getting the ball. He's action straight away. Look, asking teammates, well, what am I going to do? There's that many bodies within the penalty area there that are saying to the opponents, come and break us down. And he's making them hard to beat. Very, very disciplined in what they do. You can go around the edges, but you're not going to come through the middle of this team at this moment in time. And that's what they've done. And what they're saying to him as well is all you're going to do is you're going to run into a brick wall when you go down the central areas here. You've got Willian facing up the centre midfielders here. Again, players within the penalty area saying to him, come on. But what I would say is you've got to do this against teams like this. And that's what Arsenal have got to do. Bring your wide men wide, stay wide and open spaces within the penalty area for the likes of Giroud, the likes of Ozil and Sanchez to run into. If you don't do that, this is what happens. You run into central areas where there's bodies everywhere and it's so hard to break down. At Manchester United, we had to do that. We had to get teams wide to open them up. And what Moyes does is he makes you hard to beat. His Everton team, which was very well respected, was very hard to play against.
I think David Moyes as well needed that result because I believe he's very hands-on on the training pitch, and the players, in order for that message to really stick, you need a result to go with the hard work and all that new information. And you look at him as a manager, you know, 3 times named League Manager of the Year. I mean, that's quite remarkable. 3 times he's done that.
All at Everton, yeah.
He's the 4th on the all-time list of Premier League games managed. He's vastly experienced, and you were starting to wonder after last year at Sunderland, did he have that X factor again? So that result would have cemented his own confidence, never mind the team's.
And in some ways, it's almost too simplistic to just say, oh, he's made West Ham hard to beat, he's made them more solid. He's also managed to get Masuaku and Cresswell in the same team. He's also brought back Noble. He's also dropped Joe Hart for Adrian. He's also got Arnautovic playing in the way that we know that he can play. He is making fundamental changes front to back when you look at that team as a whole.
Yeah, he is, but after playing under him for that one season, what I would say is he's very diligent in his work, and he will be working on a training ground tirelessly, all understanding your positions. And what he said in his interview there is key. Concentration throughout the team is key in making his team a success. And he's got pace on the counter-attack, and Arnautovic there in picture. This guy's got talent. He was at Stoke doing some great things, an individual talent who's played at some big clubs. He wasn't getting the best out of him, Slaven Bilic here. Now it seems he's been given a new lease of life under a new manager, and you're starting to see the best of him. He scored the win in the last game against the champions, and long may that continue for this team at West Ham. But they have got something in terms of players that can come off. You look at the bench today. You've got Chicharito, you've got Ayew, you've got Carroll, Sacco, all attacking players that can make a change if things aren't going well in it.
Look at Arnautovic's pace here. He's rapid. Mangala there, he embarrasses him. This is late in the game, actually, and they could have got back into this. Another fine performance. He's got ability, and here, he flashes into life. There's pieces of quality here. Onto his left foot, opens his body up. That is a player of really good quality. Mourinho famously said that he's a fantastic person who has the attitude of a child. And I think David Moyes has had to get below the surface here to work on the man, to turn him into a man. And he certainly played very well in the last performance.
Well, what I saw at Manchester United is a similar. Januzaj, huge talent. He got him playing. I think that's what he has got, that ability to get some players who have got fantastic talent, who haven't channeled it the right way maybe, he can get the best out of them. Januzaj had his best season at Man United under David Moyes, and that he gave him that confidence, he gave him the impetus.
And finally, you look at the talent on the bench, you look at the talent in the starting lineup tonight, you turn around and you look at what is, whether it's right for football or not, it is a wonderful stadium. There are so many reasons for this to be actually an amazing job for David Moyes if he can make it work.
Yeah, I don't think we can judge David Moyes on the Sunderland job. I think that was a poison chalice before he even got there, and I think it still is. But I think here, the stadium, the players that they've got in the building,
this stadium, though, is the answer. They've 25 Premier League games here. They've only won 10.
Yep.
They've got to turn this into a home, and it starts, doesn't it, playing against the local rivals. Chelsea done it once already. they can do it again against Arsenal, this becomes their real natural home again.
So many false starts. For 18 months we've been saying maybe this is the result that means it's going to feel like those. Rio's allegiance is clear. The question is, though, what can Arsenal do at the back tonight? The case for the defence is going to be what we discuss next, and I think you'll agree we've got the two perfect pundits to do it. See you after the break.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Your odds from William Hill lets you create and bet on your own markets. Tweet us direct from the William Hill app or from Twitter, and we'll reply with the odds. Join over 300,000 Your Odds customers and view their markets. Spot something you like? One click. It's in your bet slip and you're on. More markets, more choice, and now available on Google Play. William Hill. This is more.
Where are we going?
Dunkirk.
I'm not going back.
Take me home.
Dunkirk. Buy and keep now on Sky Store.
Come on, it's a lonely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. Outside the snow is falling and friends are calling you. Good times. These are the good times.
Amazon have got absolutely everything you need to knock 'em dead this Christmas. With free delivery on millions of eligible items. Like GHD hair straighteners, Ghost fragrance, and Steve Madden shoes. So for everything you need for good times this Christmas, visit Amazon.
Surprise!
Supplies. I said send supplies.
A smart meter shows exactly how much energy you're using in simple terms, making it easy to track your energy use, so you can win the battle against energy waste and help lower your monthly bills. Contact your energy supplier today about getting your smart meter at no extra cost.
Can I borrow some tools?
Sure.
Whoa, this must have cost you a fortune.
Not really, Bill. With our Obi-Wan Plus system, one battery powers every tool. You can buy tools without batteries. You don't need to pay for batteries and chargers you don't need.
Bring them back.
I know.
Spend over £100 on a Ryobi One Plus starter kit this Christmas and receive a free One Plus tool. Visit ryobitools.co.uk/Christmas. One Plus, one battery powers over 70 tools.
Some might say that love is blind, that romance is a silly game and just a waste of time. And I've heard.
Let's talk about the rules of whiskey. They say you should drink it neat, never ever with a mixer. You're only allowed a splash of water or a single cube of ice. But you know what they say about rules. Make your own rules with Clubman from Hague Club.
When you want to let her know how special she is, say it with diamonds from H. Samuel. Now with 20% off all full-price diamonds and 10% off already reduced diamonds. Find the perfect diamond gift at the perfect price. H. Samuel helps you say it better.
Give me
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
It's lovely to have you with us this evening. 4 changes for the visitors Arsenal, but Alexis Sanchez starts tonight, of course. He lost possession a stunning 32 times against Southampton. So Arsenal this evening won't want to see the player who struggled on the South Coast last Sunday. They'll want to see the player who shone in East London last season.
London pride as well as important Premier League points up for grabs this evening. And they're in here, Arsenal, and it's a tap-in for Mesut Ozil. Lovely control and turn by Alexis Sanchez, and then the acceleration, and he's still going. Oh, that's fantastic. That is simply brilliant. Now Sanchez does hit it this time, and a third goal for Arsenal. Lifts it over. Oh, and there's the follow-up, and he's back with a goal. Fancies a crack himself. Oh, what a goal. What a strike from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Sanchez is in, and he's got the goalkeeper to beat. And look at that for coolness under pressure. Full time here. West Ham United 1, Arsenal 5.
Impressive, very impressive here last season. But scoring goals, rarely a problem for an Arsenal team who generally entertain. Defending is a very different story. We've got the 2 perfect men to talk about it. How bad has it been?
Well, do you know, I remember an Arsenal season when they keep changing the personnel so often, and this is Monreal we're looking at here. Get back to the goal in the shortest possible route. Get goal side. Charlie Austin can see the space. He runs into it. It couldn't be easier for him. It's just a tap in. Basics mistakes. Monreal simply is not a central defender. This is a space in front of the Arsenal defence here, because there's no one there. Xhaka has gone missing, and again they get exposed. And it's a great save from the goalkeeper that rescues them. And this basics, really, I mean, this is now, you can see the space. Look, in football, it's a numbers game. You can see Arsenal are outnumbered. Mertesacker just needs to offer himself across to the problem, and he doesn't do it. And this one here, look how far apart the 2 central defenders are. Now it's gone from a 3 to a 4. They don't get there, they're slow to react. And really, that should be another goal, but it isn't. And it's Arsene Wenger, who's worked with quite a few. I actually rate this guy Koscielny as a top defender, but even he's been made to look ragged because it goes from a 3 to a 4, and the players don't seem to be able to adjust. And I'm not sure Monreal. If I was to be on the bench tonight and I was a specialist centre half, I'd be embarrassed a little bit. Monreal's a very good fullback, but he's not a central defender.
I think any good team is based on having a good foundation, a solid foundation. Players that are consistently on the pitch together. You form relationships. You understand your partners, where their first instinct, natural reactions are to certain situations. You can't do that when 1 week you're playing with Monreal, 1 week you're playing with Kolasinac, next week you're playing with Chambers. When it's so much changing like that, there's no way you can form a relationship to actually start progressing as a unit. So is this a manager
then that doesn't trust the players that he's got?
I think he's still been searching for that best combination, and I think he hasn't come across a combination that works and stays in the team week in, week out. That's the only excuse I can give him. I'm trying to find an excuse for him.
Mustafi is injured, and Gabriel was allowed to leave the club in the summer. Now, I actually felt that Gabriel was a tough, rough, physical central defender. Now, whether or not they don't like that type of defender, I'm not sure. But Mustafi, who's in there, is more of a playmaker, someone who likes to play. We saw what happened against Manchester United when he overplayed.
But was he good enough for Arsenal to be a top 4 championship-winning team?
Well, he's clearly not.
Is Mustafi, do you think, good enough to be a centre-half in a top championship-winning team?
Well, they paid £35 million for him. You know, that's the sort of going rate, but the top players would probably be 50 million. So Arsenal are shopping at a different level to maybe the Man Cities. But, you know, Wenger's got to get that right. As a partnership, he has to get that right first.
And what do you feel about a partnership of Koscielny and Monreal? Monreal obviously out of position, and they've got a hugely inexperienced left-sided full-back in Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, well, I think that every one of the attacking players at West Ham will be licking their lips right now. Even the lads on the bench thinking, get me on that pitch as soon as you can, because you've got a debutant in the Premier League and you've got a left-back playing centre-half. Listen, Koscielny, for me, the last 5 years, is one of the best in the league. And this Arsenal team are going to be about keeping the ball away from West Ham to win this game.
and getting the ball wide and getting the ball into Olivier Giroud. That's a really good option for them tonight.
Yes, it's a definite option. There's no doubt. Iwobi as well coming in, I'm sure, will have a decent even tonight.
OK, right, let's see how this one unfolds. And as you can see in the away end down here in the home areas, they're well wrapped up this evening. We're hoping this game can keep us warm. Plenty of football happening across the country tonight. We'll keep you across all of it, but this is the live game here on BT Sport in a lit-up East London. It's West Ham against Arsenal, and it's next.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
That there on the phone is Quiff, the sports betting app, where every time you place a bet, your odds might get quiffed. What does getting quiffed feel like? It feels like catching a glass, and the catch is so amazing that you never stop holding it. And everyone's like, why is he always holding that glass? Until they find out that you caught it when you opened the cupboard, and they think, I get it. That's the best feeling available to a human being. It's perfectly normal until it's quiffed. Download now.
Super cool girl, aspirational friends, lifestyle ad with Bud Light at the end. Marketing gimmick, hot women, hot men, giving the rabbits an 8 out of 10. Fresh, smooth, lighthearted beer for a try-hard world. Don't overthink it, just watch it swirl. Follow your heart, ooh, those pants look quite tight. Drink with your face and keep it Bud Light.
If you've had a good night. I don't look shattered tonight.
10k for Grandpa.
Send help.
Ladies in London! Look at you with your little lamp to move in.
I miss it, so lovely. Can't wait to give you a lovely big cut. Sunshine. Happy birthday. I love that bit part.
Oh, go down, Steve.
Go down, Steve.
Ready? Oh, that's I love you.
When EE said we're bringing our customers the new Apple Watch that works only on our network, I went, wow, what a gift. Let's go all out. At first, I saw marching bands, air displays, and winners of I'm a Celeb. Just because. But an Apple Watch that works only on our network, now that speaks for itself. Watch call, no phone on me. Must be on EE. Stand down, Sheeran, you're canceled!
New Apple Watch on EE.
Dolce & Gabbana, the one for men.
Christmas is cinnamon. With Schwartz.
If you want to be a world traveller, start by, whoa, is that a Galaxy S8 with Bigsby? Handsome screen. Anyway, you want to pack that, then, whoa, okay, we're on the move. You'll need a tour guide. Apparently not. Don't forget your big camera, or that phone will do a cracker job. Travelling by yourself can be lonely. And look at you, you've got a ton of new friends. Ooh, llamas, you gotta love a llama. I guess you've got this world traveller thing covered. And I reckon you got Crimbo covered too. Nice one.
You know when you're all comfy and you can't find the remote? Just say, OK Google, play Stranger Things from Netflix.
OK, playing now.
It's a little help at home, the Google way.
Jim Beam Double Oak is crafted longer, but its rich flavor comes from being aged in another separate barrel. Jim Beam Double Oak, aged in 2 charred barrels for 1 intense bourbon. Jim Beam Double Oak.
Oh, come on!
Good scrum down.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. You and I.
Alan can't contain his excitement, and neither will you. Now there's a free prize with every purchase at the Carphone Warehouse £10 million giveaway. £100,000 cash, Mini Coopers, and loads of other prizes. So, buy yourself one of the latest Nokia Android range on pay-as-you-go. Like the Nokia 3 handset from just $79.99. At Carphone Warehouse, we compare, you save.
The England team seem to come to life at night, so this week should suit them.
They're nervous.
I haven't hit a ball for 30 years.
Australia will be delighted.
Oh, Australia can do no wrong.
Now, England, what have you got? England will win. Really? I can feel it in my confident.
Been one of those typical days in an Ashes series.
Army, what a review.
And Australia go 2-0 up in the Ashes.
It's a tough ask, but the win is still on.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
The teams are gathering in the tunnel. A couple of weeks ago, Arsenal was slamming 5 past Huddersfield, while West Ham were conceding 4 in defeat at Goodison Park. How different this fixture looks a fortnight later. Arsenal with no league victory since, and West Ham buoyed by their weekend win over Chelsea. And that man at the front there, Mark Noble, will know how crucial tonight is, back as the captain.
Yep, West Ham through and through, a local boy. Here to make sure the boys in the change room understand what it means to London derbies and to keep this club in the Premier League. I think David Moyes has done a good job so far, and they want to continue that vein of form and the confidence coming back into this club, because it's very much needed.
Stuart Pearce there with a few last little instructions to him, Martin.
Yeah, Stuart seems to be getting into this role now, doesn't he? Enjoying himself. I feel that Arsenal will win this game. I know it's going to be Wenger when his back is to the wall. That's when he seems to come out fighting. Jack Wilshere will be pivotal to this result. I see a 3-2 victory for Arsenal, because they will concede goals tonight, because I don't think the central defensive partnership is quite right.
Laurent Koscielny deep in thought. Mark Noble looks focused.
He does. I mean, again, I'm looking forward to seeing Jack Wilshere as well. Being an Englishman, someone with huge talent, let's see it happen.
OK, thank you, gentlemen. Right, the teams are walking, so let me hand you over to Glenn Hoddle and Ian Darke as the famous old song rings around this rather new stadium, Ian.
Yep, the bubbles are flying, and West Ham United hope they're flying as well. Was that victory over Chelsea at the weekend a turning point for David Moyes and the Hammers? Can they climb out of the bottom 3 tonight with another big win, or will Arsenal deliver the sort of hiding they administered last December here by 5 goals to 1 with an Alexis Sanchez hat-trick? It's beautifully set up with a big crowd of around 56,000 packed into the London Stadium here in East London. Absolutely fascinating London derby in prospect here.
Taker steps up. Oh no, look at the anguish. So disappointment, but wait for it. Look at that spin on the ball. Goalkeeper, you should have stayed at home. Unbelievable. And so's this.
Get better odds with Ladbrokes Odds Boost. Select your in-play bet now on this game, hit the boost button in your bet slip and watch your odds grow.
Goalkeeper says, no, it can't. Striker says, has it? Available from App Store and Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
Team news tonight, West Ham unsurprisingly naming the same 11 which beat Chelsea. Michail Antonio had to come off exhausted in that game. He did so much running, but he's fit tonight. Adrian continues to keep Joe Hart out of the team, and Marko Arnautovic will aim to add to his first Hammers goal, a vital one on Saturday. James Collins returns after injury to the bench. Jack Wilshere starts his first Premier League game for Arsenal for 19 months tonight. That's one of 4 changes. England under-20 World Cup winner Ainsley Maitland-Niles is given his first league start ever at left-back. Olivier Giroud at last makes the Premier League starting lineup this season. Alex Iwobi is recalled, and out go Mertesacker, Kolasinac, Lacazette and the injured Ramsey. And Glenn Hoddle alongside me. That Arsenal team is interesting.
Well, it is, yes, and also the West Ham one as well, Ian. You know, they've gone into a back 3 in the last 2 games, and they've got a lot out, a great performance at City. For me, it suits Arnautovic and Lanzini, that shape, and they're getting the best out of them. They have to defend, but it's more behind Antonio, which is further up the pitch. Suits them. For Arsenal, well, the big news there is individual changes, but the change for me is the back 4. They've gone back into that back 4, and that's a back 4 that hasn't never really played together. We'll see how that goes, and it's great to see Jack Wilshere back, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. A chance for him to start rebuilding his Arsenal career, and he hopes maybe force his way back into the England reckoning. Trying to stop him tonight, a man who bleeds claret and blue, Mark Noble, back to his dynamic best in the win over Chelsea. There wasn't much doubt he'd be keeping his place this evening. David Moyes, a massive win for him. He was facing questions about whether his managerial mojo had gone. That victory over Chelsea will have done him the power of good as well. Arsene Wenger not particularly happy with Arsenal's display at Southampton at the weekend, and maybe it's not just rotation. I think he was unhappy with a couple of them, and that's why you're seeing the changes here. This game, by the way, available for BT TV customers on BT Sport 4K UHD, channel number 433, and presented with Dolby Atmos. And what a sight that is in Stratford, 12 days before Christmas. And the West Ham fans really trying very, very hard to make this feel like home, like it used to be at Upton Park, which is a big job, given the shape of the stadium and the distance from the playing surface for some of the supporters here. I'm going to be frank about that.
Yeah, it has been difficult for them, but I think when they're on song, and they haven't had that many home performances where it was similar to Upton Park, where the crowd would really be engaged. And Chelsea last weekend, it started a little bit like that, but they're certainly up for it. You can sense that, Ian.
Interesting to see how Arsenal start, letting in 2 quick goals against Manchester United, another one at the weekend against Southampton. They'll have sure to be trying to be on their mettle right from the start tonight. That ball was nearly given away there by Xhaka, not quite. Perilously close to Michail Antonio, who's playing furthest forward, the former Nottingham Forest man. This is Ainsley Maitland-Niles, first time he's ever been in the Premier League starting lineup. He's had 3 sub-appearances, regular in the Europa League team this season. What a chance for him. Now here's Jack Wilshere's first involvement for the Gunners. Xhaka to feed it wide. Arsenal, who've dropped 16 points on the road so far this season. Maitland-Niles with a good early ball in there, and Ogbonna with difficulty gets it behind.
That was a good little blind run, wasn't it, from Maitland-Niles? He just plays it there and goes, give and go in behind. Zavaleta can't catch him. Probably had the space to put it in there in between the keeper and the back four, but good start from the young kid.
He's a very versatile player. Can play central midfield as well as full-back. Ozil with the corner here for Arsenal, whose away record isn't good. Koscielny got a bit of a knock as that ball came across. West Ham's free kick.
Yeah, it was a good decision from referee's assistant there on the far side. He just saw Antonio was being dragged back. He showed a turn of pace there, didn't he? It just shows you the pace that he has got. Sometimes when he's up front there, you just want him to time his runs. Sometimes he goes a little bit too early.
By the way, we've got Graham Poll on duty tonight in the event of any controversies. Never happens, does it, in the Premier League?
Every time Graham's here, it seems to.
Maitland-Niles, much involved. Straight away, he's a composed young player, much admired at Arsenal. Ball's given away there. Masuaku trying to make the run. He was very impressive against Chelsea, speedy and with quick feet as well. Here he is on the ball now.
Yeah, I think that's been clever from David Moyes. He's put Cresswell as the left side centre-back. He was playing as a wing-back, really. And then it's allowed him to put other people in the team that I think when he's arrived, he's fancied them. He's looked at them in training and said, look, I think we've got a new player here. And he's really played the last couple of games really well, hasn't he, the left wing-back, Masuaku.
The stats show, Glenn, that West Ham, since David Moyes took over, are running about 7.5 kilometres a game more. Bellerin to get the cross in. Cresswell in that new role, left of a 3 at the back with the header away. And here's Ozil, who scored in his last 3 outings against tonight's opposition. Arsenal won both meetings last season, 5-1 here, 3-0 at the Emirates. But that was then, this is now. Here's Alexis Sanchez. Bellerin. Now Monreal. Switched to a back four tonight, Arsenal, for the first time this season. Bit of a loose one that time from Maitland-Niles, and it's given Antonio the chance to chase it, but the flag had gone up.
Yeah, there's my point, Ian, what I was saying. You just want him to time his runs. He's got the pace. He's just got to pick an Arsenal defender, stay on side, and he's got the pace to get away from that back four. And that was an opportunity for West Ham.
They got it right, they didn't. Here's Sanchez. Hat-trick in this stadium last season. Iwobi turning inside is one of those recalled tonight. Here's Ozil again. It's a better start from Arsenal tonight. It could hardly have been any worse than the one they came up with at St Mary's at the weekend.
No, they were very sloppy, weren't switched in, were they? And Southampton really could have easily been 2 up, 3 up even in the first 7 or 8 minutes. They've started better here though, but I think West Ham are conceding that space. They're allowing them to go into their own half, and then once they get in there, then they put the pressure on.
Leicester continuing their good form, 1 up already at Southampton. Riyad Mahrez scoring. Keep you up to date with any goals as they go in on a busy night. Sanchez to play this one. Threw away this time by Cresswell. I have to say, West Ham looked like they were sleepwalking through some of their early fixtures this season. They're just beginning to pick up their form, as Chelsea found out at the weekend, and they put in a pretty good shift too, and Manchester City nearly stealing a point away to the leaders.
Yeah, this back three and wing backs has given them heart, has given them confidence, and there's players playing what I think is in better positions for them. As I said, Lanzini and certainly Arnautovic is playing just off Antonio. He's allowed him to go all over the pitch, whereas I think when he was playing wide, he was having to defend, and it was really difficult for him.
Winston Reid looking to spread the play, a little bit ambitious. Bellerin easy able to cut that out. Now here's Iwobi. Picked up by Lanzini. Now Masuaku off on one of those pacey runs. Mind you, Bellerin's no slouch in that department either.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race on over there on that far side, isn't it?
Yeah, they might need spikes, I think. right place for it.
Yeah, that's true.
There's Monreal, who's played every minute in the Premier League so far this season for Arsenal, as has Bellerin.
Just that point there, Monreal in that left-sided centre-back position in the back four. You wonder if Antonio will pull out on him. A few diagonals onto him. You can imagine Antonio beating him in the air. It's something that David Moyes might have set out in the dressing room before the game.
Wilshere did well in the tight space there. Kept the attack alive. Here's Ainsley Maitland-Niles towards Giroud in a similar position from which he scored at the weekend.
It was, wasn't it? The distance of the cross was a little bit wider, but similar position. Didn't really do that much there. Not much centre-forward movement. It was just a good ball in there, and he tried to outmuscle defenders around him, but just couldn't quite get his timing right. Probably in front of the ball too early. That's the option that Arsenal have got when he's in the team. They can put that cross in.
It's quite incredible. It's the first time Giroud's been in the Premier League starting lineup all season. He's got 4 goals in his last 4 games in all competitions. Good work here by Iwobi. A lot of grass for him to run into, and Bellerin's got a bit of space out there as well. Back to Iwobi. Got the block in, but here's Alexis Sanchez looking to bend one to the top corner. Sanchez again, and he couldn't get hold of it, and West Ham were grateful of that.
Yeah, good break from Arsenal, wasn't it, down this? But what a good block here. Look at that from Noble. Back in the team, another block there. And you just sense that West Ham are going to put their bodies on the line. Sanchez cuts inside, not his best, didn't quite catch it, but good defending from West Ham.
who went down a place last night with Crystal Palace's dramatic win. 19th they are at the moment, with a chance to climb out of the bottom three tonight if they win here and results go their way elsewhere.
It's a killer, that one, Ian. It's hard enough to get points when you're playing.
Yeah.
Go down a place when you're not.
Mind you, teams have won the title, haven't they, sitting by the hotel swimming pool?
Yeah, very true.
Now here's Maitland-Niles again. Looking to bend it, Giroud trying to bring it under control and get the shot away. Laid back towards Iwobi. And it wouldn't quite drop and bounce for anyone to get the shot. Sanchez is down injured and is berating the referee, John Moss.
There's just a little ball that comes in, it gets sandwiched, doesn't it, between Zabaleta and Noble. I think it's just may have caught his, I don't know if it's toe, but it's just a sore one for him. But it's evident Noble's really working hard to get any Arsenal player who's in possession, when he's up against him, getting his head down, putting him under pressure. Something they perhaps didn't do very well at the beginning of the season.
This time Arsenal haven't conceded in the first 10 minutes. Monreal didn't really win that header too convincingly. Koscielny to help him out. Here come West Ham trying to build a game. They were ahead by this time against Chelsea with that Arnautovic goal at the weekend. Going through, there's the latest scores from the other game. Sorry, Glenn.
I think that's what was impressive for me, that to go 1-0 up against Chelsea 6 minutes into the game, that's a long, it's a long time to hang on. You can score too early when you're down the bottom, but they held on, and I think that's what's given them a major confidence as well as the result.
Just the question maybe of how much that game took out of them. Cresswell was beaten by that ball. Wilshere can pick it up. Here's Iwobi. Again, the West Ham defence doing their job.
Yeah, but you see Arnautovic there. There's a different attitude there. Look at him getting back there in the left-back position. He's playing just as a second striker, but he's prepared to get back there and work for the team. Again, something that wasn't happening weeks ago. There he is. He puts off Iwobi and they get a goal kick from it.
It was interesting what David Moyes said. He said to the players, don't come in after training at lunchtime having a moan about what hard work it was, because it was the lack of hard work that perhaps got us into the trouble in the first place. Maitland-Niles got there in the end.
Yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not prepared to work hard and work as a unit and as a team and off the pitch and at the training ground, match days, that's what being a professional is all about. And David's identified that very quickly here at West Ham.
It's going to be a long one here from Michail Antonio. Manchester City already ahead at Swansea. And Everton ahead at Newcastle. Wayne Rooney again. I think that's his 9th in the Premier League already this season.
Gareth Southgate, take note.
There's the man who gave Rooney his debut all those years ago.
Yeah, I still say he's got a big part to play for England. If tournament comes around, you need experience, as long as he's doing what he's doing now.
Koscielny gets this one away. Iwobi to Wilshere, was taken out of it by Obiang there.
Yeah, he just catches him. It's a lovely take from Jack Wilshere. He's on the half turn. Shrivels on it, was too quick. He's getting back to his best, Jack. I see him playing in Europa games and he's getting his sharpness back again. You just hope he doesn't get a whack on that fated injury on his leg.
Trying to conjure up something here. Alexis Sanchez trying to find Giroud with the back heel, but West Ham working very, very hard, and Obiang found an out ball for Marko Arnautovic. Tried the reverse pass to pick up Mikel Antonio, but here's Masuaku now. Decent ground. Arnautovic! 1-0 to West Ham United, and the flag's up. The flag is up. It's not going to count. Well, the cheers stuck in the throats of 50,000 West Ham fans there.
Well, you just see him go off the back. Does he get back in? He doesn't. He's just offside. I think he thought the cross was going in a tad earlier, but it's a wonderful ball in. He's pulled off at the right time, but he's just strayed offside, thinking the ball was going to come in early. And there's David celebrating. David Moyes, he can't believe it. Look, he's checking. No, I know the feeling, Dave.
Eddie Smart, the official on this side, got it right, you have to say, looking at that again.
Yes, he did, yeah. And it's unusual sometimes because the ball was pretty acute to where he was. You know, sometimes when it's played over the top, but that angle, Arnautovic just couldn't get himself back. But I tell you what it has done, it's lifted this crowd, lifted the team.
Yeah, listen to the noise ringing around here now. West Ham have got 10 of their points here this season, only 3 on the road. They haven't won on their travels yet. And here's Arnautovic again. He just drifted into an offside position at the crucial moment.
Yeah, they've just got to get their timing right. They're looking to go in behind. And Arsenal are looking to play a back four. They're pretty high. Look, Maitland-Niles just steps up at the right time, but it's risky.
That's turned up the decibel level here. Arnautovic thought there that having waited so long for his first West Ham goal, he got his second in another London derby.
Well, that's the old saying, isn't it? They say it comes, London buses come in twos. But he was in the right position. He's looked sharp here. He's prepared to work hard defensively for his team, but he's looking really good up front. He's making some great runs off the ball. A couple of them have come, a couple of them haven't.
That's £20 million, club record fee. Arnautovic, nightmare start with the club, but starting to show the form that he's capable of now.
Yeah, because he's playing in the right position, or a position that suits him better, I feel.
Here's the New Zealander, Winston Reid, part of the West Ham team promoted. This is their 6th season now up in the Premier League. Arnautovic looking for the flick on. Antonio's a long way away from him. And look at that from Leicester City, already 2 up down there on the south coast, with Shinji Okazaki getting a second. Claude Puel enjoying his return.
Yeah, my old teammate.
Oh yeah, Monaco. He was a tough guy, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, but he really was. Tough midfield player. But he's got Leicester playing some really good football.
That's Monreal on Antonio.
Just gets there a little bit late, doesn't he? That's when I think defenders have got to stay on their feet. This is the one where Jack gets another whack there. You just worry about that when he gets kicked in those areas along those shins. But it's going to happen.
Wilshere will want to make a statement tonight. We'll hope this isn't just a bit of rotation and that he can really get a run in the team, because he played plenty of times for Bournemouth last season before his injury. There's Hector Bellerin. To Laurent Koscielny. He might be grateful of the return to the back four. Obiang to Zabaleta. For the push, didn't he, there from Sanchez? Yep.
There's a shove in the back. He's playing catch-up there, Sanchez. He wasn't goal side. That's what the wing-backs will give West Ham. They'll give Arsenal a problem to their wide men. If they're prepared to track them and get goal side, that'll make them come really deep. But there, Sanchez really thought, oh, he's not going to play that ball, is he? And he did. He's had to catch him. He's had to run back, and he's given the free kick away.
Lanzini. West Ham United just beginning to ask a few more questions.
Yeah, they're getting a nice pattern of play here, but they've got options on the ball. I've seen West Ham many times this season, and they haven't had that.
Arnautovic claps the idea. He couldn't quite bring that out of the air. It was a difficult one over the shoulder.
It was. It just needed a tad to be on the angle a little bit more, but they're probing, aren't they, West Ham? And they've got options on the pitch.
Famous old cup name in action tomorrow night live on BT Sport 1 HD. Hereford trying to reach the FA Cup third round. Replay with Fleetwood Town from 7:15, and the winners play Leicester City. A bang-in form Leicester City. Could Jamie Vardy be playing his old team, Fleetwood? Now, was there a bit of an elbow involved in this?
See Giroud, yeah, he's just caught. He has caught him. I'm not saying that's intended. I think that's a little arm across. That's a hold-off type of defender, holding him off like a striker would do. There's no bent elbow there.
Agree, Graham Poll?
Yeah, exactly the same as Glenn's seen that. Just a coming together there. Nothing more than a free kick.
Thank you. I think that's a unanimous decision from the jury. Here's Iwobi. Noble playing it out to the side, and again Lanzini working hard. Kevin De Bruyne putting Manchester City 2-0 up there at Swansea. Sure, the celebrations will be muted. Maybe not.
Maybe not, I think.
Here's Wilshere to Ozil. Now Alex Iwobi, Giroud, and he couldn't find Alexis Sanchez, who had found half a yard of space. Meanwhile, here come West Ham with the lively Arnautovic. Antonio couldn't quite bend it into his path. And there's Arnautovic fouled by Kashani over there. The outside flag had gone up before.
Yeah, good defending again, actually. You see Arnautovic play it. He's waiting. I thought he should have held it just a little bit more and let Antonio come on the overlap. There he goes a tad early. And I think it's Xhaka that just holds his ground and puts his hand up, and the linesman, the assistant referee, waits to put the flag up. That drives me mad. As a manager on the sideline, that's the last thing you want.
That's what they're told to do, though, isn't it? Now?
But they don't realise the heart of the manager. Panic mode.
We'll send him on a course. Here's Granit Xhaka to Jack Wilshere. With the claret and blue shirts. Arsenal are used to facing this. Nothing they tried at the weekend at Southampton, passing it all around, seemed to work until they put in an old-fashioned cross and Giroud headed it in. That's Giroud back to Wilshere, and then Alexis Sanchez just crowded out for room. It took a deflection on the way through for a corner.
I can't tell you how good that touch is from Wilshere. Watch this, uses the first time touch, pass the ball up, plays Noble out, plays a little 1-2, and then just finds Sanchez as a deflection, but beautiful play from Wilshere.
Those little moments of invention that he's there for. Sanchez to take it. It's not a good one, easily clear. It wasn't a great header, that one. And it's thumped wide of the post in the end. Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, your job on that front post is to head it clear, but head it out this way. That's a dreadful header from Arnautovic. It's not... He's good in the air when he's attacking, but obviously he's got some work to do on that training ground if he's going to go in that position. Look, I think they're having a word with him.
Just the sort of little moment that can cost you, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think in the past, certainly this season, that's the sort of thing that ends up in the back of the net when you're down the bottom there and you haven't got that belief.
Arsenal starting the night in 6th place, but in points terms as near to the bottom club Swansea as they are to the leaders Manchester City. 17 points the gap either way. It's the sort of pace City have been setting, isn't it?
I think it's a Premier League.
Peering got in a mix-up there. Ball hit his heel. Arnautovic. What can come of this for West Ham? Antonio had to stretch. The decision will go Arsenal's way in the end.
I'm just saying that I think it's a Premier League like no other. Every single point has got to be really earned.
As Arsenal trying to earn 3 with Iwobi, will be going to the World Cup with Nigeria, if selected, of course. Everybody's going to have to work for that. Well, nearly everyone anyway. Monreal to lay it inside to Giroud, who needs the starts really with the very competitive France setup. Of course, one of his rivals there is Manu's rival for a place at Arsenal, Lacazette,
who can't get a game for France.
Yep. Interesting little club-country dynamic going on with that. Here's Bellerin now to Iwobi. Obiang nearly threaded that through for Michail Antonio. Once he gets clear, there'll be no catching him. He's very quick. Here's Wilshere again. Scored his first ever Premier League goal in an away game against West Ham 7 years ago. Monreal. Shawnee's header, Winston Reid covering. It's a welcome goal for Romelu Lukaku, isn't it? Manchester United 1, Bournemouth 0.
You see West Ham's pressing there. It was excellent. All hunting the ball together in 2s and 3s, and eventually Arsenal give the ball away.
Martovic again doing some good work. Zabaleta. Lanzini starting to find his form just lately as well. That'll be a big bonus. Obiang does well. And again, it's Arnautovic on the end of it. It's a bit of a miscue, really.
Yeah, he's put under a lot of pressure from Koscielny. But again, decent ball in, half a chance again, that will give him hope.
Giroud. Referee thought that was okay from Reid, who showed all his muscularity to win it all right.
Giroud's not happy. He feels like he's had a forearm smash there.
Well, there's a bit of licence going on with that. He's certainly getting the treatment from those West Ham defenders, Giroud, tonight, one way and another.
Well, he's got 3 of them at the moment to play against, up against. There's 3 marking 1 in many instances, so he's going to have to be strong. He's going to have to battle and be patient.
Apart from that 5-goal romp at Everton, Arsenal have found it difficult to score goals away from home this season, which is surprising given the amount of attacking talent they possess. Apart from that Everton game, they've only got 4 goals on the road in 10.5 hours of football.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? It really is. This is Giroud there. There's the forearm smash from Reid. I've got to say, I think that's a foul. So does Giroud, look.
John Moss was quite close and just waved play on. There you go. Xhaka with the header clear. Giroud tries to lay it back. There's Wilshere. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, one of those who won the Under-20 World Cup for England during the summer. Something you can never ever take away. Ozil. Sanchez. Trying to find Ozil again, but it was a bit of a guess, really, the back heel. Arsenal get it back again, though. Sanchez to thread it through. It will be! Might have hit the outside of the post. Goalkeeper Adrian down there as well.
I think it did, Ian. I think he hit the post. And it's come from Lanzini giving the ball away. They had a chance to break on Arsenal, and they give the ball directly straight back to them, and that's where that chance has come. They can't afford to do that. Got a little bit of good fortune, perhaps, that they didn't have again in the early part of the season and the back end of last year.
Apart from that, they've kept Adrian pretty well covered up, this West Ham defence. Giroud, Maitland-Niles, Wilshere, trying the bewildering one-touch passing routine. Doesn't come to anything in the end, but it might take something like that to open up this Hammers defence tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. If you can play 1 and 2 touch, it's very hard to defend again. There's the ball that Lanzini gives away cheaply, and it comes straight back in. They're not set up defensively well, and there's the little ball to Iwobi. Just look outside of the post. Just gone for the near post because I think there's a defender. I think it's Cresswell that's covering that little sort of bender into the far corner.
Wilshere's challenge was deemed okay, and then Iwobi thumps it wide.
There's Lanzini again, just giving that ball away, just runs away from him. It's pinch, lovely little tackle from Wilshere. Just nicks it off in there, no foul. And there's the chance again coming from West Ham's possession.
Here's Arnautovic. Putting a handful for that Arsenal defence. And he's emerged with the ball somehow there as well. How about that from Arnautovic? Lanzini. Still might be something noble battling away. Monreal didn't really clear it. It's come out to Masuaku. And Cresswell has gone for the return ball here. But Granit Xhaka's done his job. That's just about gone out of play. Great skill from him.
That was great skill, and that's what he can achieve. Look at this. This is what you saw at Stoke. This is why he was bought by West Ham. Holds up, he's strong. Look at the skill, vision, strength there, little skill inside. He's got bundles of confidence after that goal at the weekend. He really is. Look at that. Nice bit of pace, bit of strength, little vision. Look over the shoulder, nutmegs. Look, it's all in there. It's a cameo.
It's a wonderful bit of play. Really underlines the point about confidence. He's unrecognisable from the player we were looking at a few weeks ago.
Has he got a brother?
Here come Arsenal again. Adrian's come for that, and he's got it as well.
That was really good goalkeeping. Just out of the left eye, I could just see it. He was on his way. He was reading, anticipating the cross before it actually left the foot, and really good goalkeeping that.
Well, Bonner got hurt in that. Of course, Adrian's goalkeeping, keeping Joe Hart out of the side, which will be a little bit of a worry for him with a World Cup coming up with the England position. But David Moyes saying this week, Joe Hart, we're not going to loan him out or anything like that in January. He'll play loads and loads of games between now and the end of the season. But Adrian really was impressive when Joe Hart was ineligible to play against his parent club, Manchester City, the other week, and he kept his place.
West Ham crowd and David Moyes ironically giving a bit of a cheer for this referee's assistant on this side. It's probably the first decision he's made for West Ham. Well, they feel that anyway.
Yeah, well, I think the offside flag was right though, wasn't it, for the disallowed goal? There's not much doubt about that one.
There's a couple of them in, yep.
It's Koscielny now for Arsenal. They've only won twice away from home this season. Arsenal, it's hurt them really. Now, Maitland-Niles to Mesut Ozil. Decent looking cross, Giroud looking for a little flicked header. Could have been dangerous, he couldn't get anything on it.
And you see another cross here, Maitland-Niles come back on his right foot again. That's how it's his natural foot, and it's curling away, isn't it? Giroud just can't get enough. Decent defending, making sure he doesn't get a free header in there.
Big Saturday coming up. BT Sports score from 2:45. All the latest scores from around the country as they come in. And then Great offering from the Premier League. The leaders Manchester City up against Spurs from 5 o'clock. And Premier League tonight, all the big issues discussed from 8 with Jake and the team. Here's Bellerin now for Arsenal. More intensity, more fight, more organisation from West Ham United than we saw in the first few months of the season.
Yeah, most definitely. In good shape they've got good shape defensively here, allowing the deep player of Arsenal, whoever it is in midfield, to have the ball, making sure that there's no space in between the back three and the midfield.
Giroud with the header down, looking for a bit of support. Comes to Wilshere now. Granit Xhaka still waiting to open his account for the season. He's dangerous from range, given the opportunity. Alexis Sanchez, Giroud, it's all very tight. And again, a claret and blue shirt in the shape of Winston Reid breaks it all up. Arsene Wenger, who has a habit of coming up with wins against West Ham United. He's had the odd flashpoint in the past. Remember when Alan Pardew was the manager? It got a bit lively, didn't it?
Well, over the many years of his management, he's going to have a couple of them. You know, Mourinho, there was one, and I remember, but normally he's quite calm.
These two managers with over 1,300 Premier League games behind them, between them. And David Moyes only has 4 wins out of 28 against Wenger so far. Cresswell to feed it wide to Masuaku. Been able to get him into the game maybe quite as often as they'd like. Playing that wing-back role. And not venturing very far from that touchline as well, trying to keep the width in the attack. This is Noble this time. Wanted a free kick, he's not getting it.
I thought he had a chance to put the ball in there. He just tries to outpace Maitland-Niles, and Niles has another little go at him, and yes, it is a foul. He's drawn it. Lovely. Bit of an experience really from the young man, but good position now for West Ham.
And that's the cue for the West Ham fans to make plenty of noise here. Cresswell's left foot check to go through a few bodies to get his paw to it.
That's decent keeping, wasn't it? Under a bit of pressure there. It was a little bit high. You've got Antonio taking the throw in. Well, you really want him flicking it on. There's no one else in the club, obviously, because it's got the long throw.
He's gone back to Cresswell. Back to Antonio again. It's a poor one, easily cleared by Granit Xhaka. And Stuart Pearce has joined David Moyes on the team as they try to lead West Ham United away from danger. Bonner was there trying to get a little flick on. Didn't know what to do, but he did win the ball back, and Lanzini here making progress down that side, and he sends up an appeal, but it's a goal kick. That's the decision of John Moss. Here's Ozil. How quickly can West Ham develop this? Wilshere.
They broke Arsenal, but it wasn't quick enough. Every West Ham player now back behind the ball. Antonio prepared to go in, as Lanzini was caught as the highest man. That's good work ethic for West Ham.
Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, Maitland-Niles towards Giroud, who's looking for something spectacular, and his boot there might have caught Cresswell. High boot. Cresswell went down in a heap straight away. It looked nasty, that.
I think he's okay. It's good to see him get up so quick. I think it's just winded him. It's a fantastic effort. I've got to say, I think he's gone for it. It is dangerous play, of course, but if it comes off, it's a wonderful, wonderful goal. And he doesn't know if the defender's going to go for it or not. He might have bottled it a little bit, but he didn't. Cresswell was strong, he was brave, and took a whack for it, and he's got the free kick, I think.
Let's have a look at this incident at the other end when there were appeals mostly from the crowd for a penalty. Lanzini with Granit Xhaka, and we can bring Graham Poll in on that. What do you think, Graham?
Yeah, Xhaka's actually defending the ball very well. Lanzini's grabbing him just as much. It's a 50-50, and I think John Moss has got it absolutely right. Goal kick and move on.
Thank you, Graham.
Yeah, Xhaka was clever in the way he got his body in between the ball and man, and showed good defensive astuteness there.
Out goes Xhaka with the header. It's developing into quite a battle, this, for the points in East London tonight. Football fans mixing with the Christmas shoppers around Stratford Station on their way to this game tonight. Great atmosphere with Christmas approaching. Big London derby. Ogbonna. Winston Reid attacking that one. Cresswell. Masuaku. Obiang, the former Sampdoria man, playing out wide. He started every game under David Moyes. Here he is on the ball again now, the midfield player. Couldn't find Arnautovic, just a little hurried with the pass. Surely Wilshere was brought down. And I think there's going to be a yellow card, isn't it, here for Lanzini for that, which is a bit on the cynical side.
I don't think he knew Noble was behind him. Here, look, he's just brought him down and Noble's covered him. He's got it covered, he's read the situation. Jack Wilshere gets clipped, but I don't think he was going to get at the back three. Lanzini's picked up a cheap booking, really.
Xhaka, the Swiss international, to Mesut Ozil. Trying to change the pace of the attack here, Giroud. And that's what Arsenal were talking about it after the Southampton game, adding more sharpness to their attacking work, which at times tended to be on the laboured side down at St Mary's.
That sort of passing, that sort of lazy passing and controlled passing's okay if you then turn it into another gear in and around the penalty area, and they didn't do that against Southampton.
The old quick, slow routine.
That's right.
Yeah. There's the latest scores from the other Premier League games going through on your screen. Look at Leicester, 3 up at Southampton. Leaders look as if they're on the way to another win in this record-breaking season for them. United 1 up with a Lukaku goal. Manchester United against Bournemouth, and Spurs 1 up against Brighton too. Seen that look before from David Moyes over the years.
Yeah, I think he's annoyed because they've lost the momentum. They've done well. He'd be pleased with the way West Ham have defended at the moment, and also they look like dangerous on the break.
Bellerin works the 1-2 with Iwobi. Bellerin, deflection on the cross. It will go for a corner kick. That was a bit better from Arsenal.
Yeah, that was the little change of pace, wasn't it? We're talking about going up a gear. Nice little quick 1-2. They earned the corner well there, and West Ham have really got to see this off to half-time. Make sure they're all picking up this man for man. It's not zonal. It looks like they put Antonio in that 6-yard box on his own just to go and attack things. But other than that, it's pick up your man. That's your responsibility.
Just a minute of added time at the end of the half. Here comes the corner kick. Sanchez! Wonder if that might just have sat there for the volley. And then the shot from Wilshere charged down. Hector Bellerin. Alex Iwobi. Wilshere and Sanchez. Wilshere got his first goal for Arsenal for 2.5 years last week in the Europa League. Good one too.
That was a great goal, wasn't it? It's interesting, although Giroud's on the pitch and he started this time, he's had 2 crosses. He's had 2 crosses all this 45 minutes nearly. They're still going through the eye of a needle, Arsenal. Both of their full-backs are spare because the wing-backs are getting pushed back, and you'd think they'd go a little bit wider and get some crosses in.
Is the disallowed goal again, just a double check on the offside?
Yeah, definitely. He just couldn't stop himself. I think he thought it was coming in and he was making his run off a ball that he's expecting a little bit earlier. He finishes it well, doesn't he?
It's a great header, bit of a heartbreaker for the West Ham fans, but I think even the most dyed-in-the-wool claret and blue West Ham fan would have to admit that was offside. Xhaka. Is it Iwobi? By the way, West Ham do have the options of Andy Carroll and Chicharito Hernandez on the bench, both fit again now for later on. Might be happy with the way it is. Sanchez. Just the 1 minute added time, confirmation of that. Comes out to Xhaka again. It's his second long-range effort in the last couple of minutes, and neither have been, well, anywhere close, really.
Well, again, that little move that they tried to put in, it's right through an eye of a needle. So many Arsenal bodies round there, and they're going to drag defenders. Very difficult for them, but one of Xhaka's better one. I think Arsenal's got to have a good chat with them at half-time and see if they can get a little bit more width, get a few more crosses in. And if it isn't Giroud scoring, it might be a second ball dropping down to a Wilshere or a Sanchez.
Going to get the half-time whistle any second now. A lot of possession and probing by Arsenal, but not too many signs of a goal, and that is half-time. The only time the ball was in the net from Marko Arnautovic, it was deemed rightly to be offside. But West Ham have been tight and organised and obstinate. They've made it difficult for Arsenal here. Be interesting to see the way this one pans out, but at half-time, goalless between the London rivals.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
We can cross continents and time zones at the mere touch of a button. The moment the game changes is the moment we see it. I miss nothing. We are members of the world's favourite online sports betting company. And we gamble responsibly at Bet365.
Blu-ray and DVD. Buckle up. The smash hit action comedy of the year.
What happened to the seatbelt rule?
The Hitman's Bodyguard. Buy it now.
Let's go. Rival's always gotta be the bad guys. I hate Elftown. Fairy lives don't matter today.
I close my eyes and fade away. Just like the dark side
There's all sorts of bits in McNuggets.
Oh, here we go again.
There's all sorts of beaks in McNuggets.
Bits! Beaks.
Feet.
Feathers. Hold on. Meet Hayden. He's a food quality inspector. He's written a list of the chicken that does go into McNuggets. So if it's not 100% chicken breast,
it's not going in.
Well, there you have it.
Can I have one?
Whoops. Too late.
What makes Ring the world's most advanced doorbell? Ring lets you see and speak with whoever's at your door from your smartphone.
Hello?
Package for Mrs. Thompson.
Oh, fab. Can you leave it by the front door?
Okay. Save you a trip to the depot.
Ring works off your home Wi-Fi network. It's easy to install and runs off a built-in battery. Or you can connect it to the mains. With Ring, you're always home. Available at ring.com and select retailers.
A world first in higher education. UCFB Wembley and UCFB Etihad campus. University degrees in the football, sport and events industries. An unrivaled business network and professional work experience. UCFB, your future in the world of sport.
Fancy a 4G smartphone at a smarter price? With BT Mobile, smartphones start from £12 a month if you've got BT broadband at home. Like this Samsung Galaxy J3. While this Galaxy A3 is £17 a month. And this Galaxy S7, £35 a month. And that's with 6 gig of data. Plus, no one gives their customers fast 4G and Wi-Fi in more places than us. So make the smart choice. Search BT Mobile or call 0800 456 1100 today.
This is Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo for Men. Take a good look because it's moving fast. In fact, it sold over 2 million bottles in Germany last year alone. To find out why, get down to leading supermarkets and pharmacies. Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo. German engineering for your hair.
At WeBuyAnyCar.com, we live by one simple rule. Be more like Philip Schofield. It might sound weird, but by being more like lovely Phil, we hope to make selling your car a bit nicer. For instance, Phil wouldn't haggle, so neither do we. And there he is, our Philspiration. Yeah, he's topless. Why not? Enter your reg now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. So quick, so simple, so Schofield.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Welcome back, it's goalless here at the London Stadium. So as things stand, Arsenal have slipped down to 7th in the Premier League. West Ham level with Palace and West Brom on 14 points each. Now don't forget the Ashes gets going once again this evening from 1:30 in the morning. It's basically now or never for England. They're 2 down, it's the 3rd test, they need to do something. If you can't stay up all night, we understand. You can see the highlights from 11:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning, right here on BT Sport 1. So we've got Rio Ferdinand and Martin Keown with us for this evening. Let's start by having a look at this disallowed goal for West Ham. And it all came from them being really well organised at the back, didn't it?
Yep, David Moyes has got this team organised. We've seen that in the last couple of games. And this was a perfect example of how they're setting themselves up. Here, Arsenal probing, the back 5 in place, width for the penalty area, the 2 centre midfielders in front protecting, come down the central areas. They're comfortable doing that at the moment. And then they break. And Arnautovic has been fantastic as an outlet. Him and Antonio making some great runs, keeping the ball. I mean, Martin, you can talk about the Arsenal defender here.
The Arsenal obviously lose possession, and then we talked about Monreal picking up. Just track him here. He should be picking Arnautovic up. He hasn't got a clue where he is. And really, I mean, okay, he's lucky because he doesn't know where he is. It's basic defending. And it's when Arsenal have possession, suddenly lose it again, and they can't get back into position quick enough.
Well, that's a left-back playing centre-half. That's a trait there that you would see from a full-back playing centre-half there, that they're not accustomed to playing in that part of the pitch. Yeah. And when you're used to playing in certain areas of the pitch, it's hard to just switch that on straight away. OK, it was the right decision from the referee's assistant there. Arsenal question marks at the back still, but they've probed and they've searched going forwards, and they hit the post from one of those little
little attempts, didn't they? Jack Wilshere's been good.
This is sort of these incisive passing, the triangle movement that they have. Look, they just thread it in there. Iwobi does really well to get that shot off because Creswell, I think, really good defending. He's only got that to aim at. If you see it from the reverse angle, good defending again. We talk about West Ham. He just about gets the shot in, but he can't hit the target, and that's pretty well in the best of Arsenal. It's not, they haven't snapped into life yet. This game is really here for the taking for both teams, you feel, and Arsenal slipping down the table as things stand at the moment.
And I don't think that we're really doing West Ham justice by saying they've only been organised in this game, because actually the outlets have been quite good, haven't they? Through Arnautovic, Antonio, they've had opportunities.
Yeah, they have, and there's a composure once they win the ball. And I think the central midfielders are winning the ball on the toes of the centre halves and then looking to play direct straight into them forward players. And Arnautovic comes off. He comes off deep, and they've got that relationship with Antonio who's running long and making sure that they're not just sitting there and waiting to be beaten or waiting to get a clean sheet and not get anything the other side, and they are a threat. But here, Arsenal probe all the way. This is a great touch. This is where you want to see Jack Wilshere. You know he's got that quality. This is what you want to see on a consistent basis, setting up opportunities for his teammates, and his touch there was exquisite.
West Ham, what I like about them, nice and compact, is that distance between the defence and the midfield. And really, they're quite deep, but they're asking Arsenal, come on to us and say, can you break us down? And when they can't, then they've got that threat on the break with Arnautovic, particularly, and Antonio.
I think here, but this is an Arsenal. This is what they've got to do as well. A bit of width, getting Zabalaga out of that position there where he's comfortable and whipping the ball in. This is where Giroud. This is where he comes into play. He needs the balls put in the box sometimes. You can't just play pretty football when he's on the pitch. You've got to vary it up.
OK, be interesting to see in the second half if the ball ends up wide once more and in for Olivier Giroud. But it's West Ham who've had the ball in the back of the net. The correct decision. Arnautovic was offside. Arsenal, though, have also come close, hitting the post through Iwobi. So both sides with chances. As Martin says, though, it's yet to really come to life. Second half is next.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
On tomorrow's show, I'll be joined by cycling superstar Joe Ranselshant, Ashes legend Simon Jones, and completing our hat-trick, Jermaine Defoe. The Claire Balding Show tomorrow on BT Sport.
Football, 90 minutes where anything can happen. You can watch it and you can get involved in it with the latest Coral action.
Bet £25 or more between Monday and Thursday and get £10 in free bets for the weekend.
Coral, jump in. Available from App Store and now Google Play. When the fun stops, stop.
He's got the cash. He's got a condo. He's got a car. He's got a career. But that still doesn't mean he gets you. Time to shine. Extra.
Here you are. The moment when bluffing is the only way to win. You're freaking out, kiddo. But think about all those times you bluffed yourself. Like the pull-up bar waiting for you to get back in shape. That book you're definitely going to read. Your parents, you swear, never ever had sex. Use that talent. Because if you can bluff yourself, you can bluff anyone. Poker Stars. You're already a great poker player.
If you want to be a world traveller, start by... Whoa, is that a Galaxy S8 with Bigsby? Handsome screen. Anyway, you want to pack that, your passport, and... Whoa, okay, we're on the move. To get around a new city, take the bus. Oh, yeah, the tuk-tuk's a way better idea. You got to invest in a tour guide. Nah, apparently you don't. Don't forget your big camera, or that phone will do a cracker job. Now, travelling by yourself can be lonely. And look at you, you've got a ton of new friends. Ooh, llamas, you gotta love a llama. Buying a new shirt can be difficult if you don't know the language. No, actually, don't panic. Bigsby can help you with the Spanish. Good on you, Bigsby. Hold up, is that a king? Who are all those people? Oh, split screen. Now that is pure class. Okay, yeah, you've got the world traveller thing totally covered. And I reckon you got Crimbo covered too. Nice one.
To enjoy Jack Daniel's honey, you don't have to be a whiskey drinker.
You don't have to know we've been doing this for over 150 years.
And you don't need to know that we use real honey from real bees.
You don't have to visit Lynchburg either. You just need a friendly introduction.
They say 4 wheels move the body, 2 wheels move the soul. At my company, we specialise in custom motorcycles. We wanted to revive old manufacturing techniques with new technology. The surface is great. It's powerful enough to run all the programs that I need. I really love drawing with a pen. The pressure sensitivity is wonderful. It felt just like paper and pen, really. The best part of riding a motorcycle is an absolute sense of freedom. Using the surface, it feels exactly the same.
What makes you tick? With over 10,000 different watches, great savings, free delivery, hassle-free returns, and even free adjustment, whatever makes you tick. Find the perfect gift for Christmas at watchshop.com.
And up next, the young man whose FIFA 18 move sent the world into a spin.
Play it on Xbox One.
Right, what are we talking about here? We're talking about cricket? Big Bash cricket. The biggest hitters in the game. The crowd goes wild. That is Big Bash cricket, mate.
The Big Bash starts Tuesday, live on BT Sport.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Arsenal heading out for the second half. David Moyes clearly, though, has got plenty to tell his players, or perhaps he just wants to keep them in the dressing room and keep them out of the rain a little bit longer. But he will be happy. Arsenal have had lots of the football, but crucially only 1 shot on target in that first half.
Yeah, and this is the way that Arsene Wenger likes to see him and his team play. And I think Arsenal, yes, we said it, have been probing, but you need to have efforts on goal to feel comfortable doing that. And what he will be concerned about is that West Ham are getting out far too easily when they do win the ball back. And they have been a threat at times. So West Ham, I think, would like to continue very much the same, keeping the chances to a minimum, but having that little bit of potency on the attack, and Arnautovic, Antonio being that threat.
And for Arsenal, keep it wide, keep utilising Giroud's abilities in the air.
Yeah, Maitland-Niles has come back onto that right foot a couple of times and delivered really good balls. Need more from Sanchez in this second half, and then Arsenal maybe can win this match. OK, 8 points from 8 away games so far for Arsenal. Need to do better. Back to Glenn and Ian.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jake. Rio Martin. West Ham getting us underway at the start of the second half. This fixture goes back a long way, and of course, previous meetings include the 1980 FA Cup final, when West Ham were the last team from outside the top flight to win the FA Cup. Trevor Brookings' header and all that. Here's Arnautovic with a chance straight away. Which curls onto the top of the net. He couldn't quite get the contact he needed under pressure.
That was a wonderful chest off from Noble, absolutely super. He just couldn't come down, he couldn't get it on the half volley. It's on the way up, it's not dropping, he has to get his foot onto it then, and that's the reason why he can't keep it down. What a beautiful bit of skill from Noble there. It's on its way up as he hits it.
I was to say, Glenn, that was the cameo of the night, wasn't it, from Noble?
It was a super bit of skill.
Fantastic piece of play from West Ham, and they will feel they should have taken advantage, as Noble, far from a regular in the starting lineup in more recent times, but having a bit of a revival at the moment. Here's Arnautovic doing good work again. Cut out by Wilshere, though. Iwobi's ball to Alexis Sanchez, and Giroud. That's really good defending from Angelo Agbona.
A really good break from Arsenal, excellent counter-attack. 3 passes and they were in behind West Ham's defence, but Agbona, excellent, just read it, just eased it out for the corner.
Quite the start to the second half as the rain slants down. West Ham Arnautovic is heading the ball away for the corner. He's been West Ham's man of the match so far.
Yeah, that's a better header. First half, he was an awful header. Scooted off his head, goes up to the edge of the box, but that's where you want. You're on the front shield You're shielding the front post. That's the header you need, right out of touch, so you can get organised as a team.
Here's Monreal now. Now Ainsley, Maitland-Niles. Ozil. Stories that Arsenal are about to make him a very, very big pay offer in an effort to get him to stay. They stand the risk of losing Ozil and Sanchez for nothing as things stand. To Shawnee this time. Wilshire's trying to get him behind, but Ogbonna's there. He looks quite comfortable in this role, doesn't he, Cresswell?
He does. I like him. When I played back threes, there was times when I would play a full-back in that position, as long as he could cope defensively and aerially. But we did it with Stuart Pearce with England and Gary Neville. So I like that in a back three, because you're comfortable on the ball and also you're prepared to go out wide and defend if needs be.
In towards Olivier Giroud. Maitland-Niles had carried on with his run. Wouldn't quite drop, and under pressure Ogbonna can get it away. West Ham United clearly a tougher nut to crack in the kind of performances we saw here when they were beaten 4-1 by Liverpool and 3-0 by Brighton, who did play exceptionally well that night.
They've got lovely balance about their play tonight, defensively and attacking. They can get out with these two up front.
Sanchez. Still here to Bellerin here. He's going to try his luck. Not a problem for Adrian, though.
Yeah, I've got to say, I don't know if it's the words from the manager at half-time or if it's the surface, because this rain is really heavy now. And I think it's suiting Arsenal, zipping this ball about. But they've certainly come out with some intent. Here's Bellerin, not his best strike. But they're shifting the ball much quicker this half.
Antonio on the head of the player, playing furthest forward for West Ham, well, most of the time anyway. Just occasionally Arnautovic is getting ahead of him. It would be fantastic from a West Ham perspective if they could beat Chelsea and then Arsenal here. That would really set them on the road to recovery from a slightly perilous position towards the bottom.
They've got to maintain that concentration and that desire to close people down that they had in the first half. That'll be more difficult as the game goes on, of course. But if they make substitutions, whoever comes on has got to play in the same pattern.
Bellerin getting a flick to it. He thought he might have been brought down, but nobody else did. Kashani winning the header. It's a tight old battle here. Comes Ozil. Sanchez, those two have an almost telepathic understanding, it seems, at times. Sanchez again looking for a little 1-2 this time with Giroud, and in towards Iwobi. Sanchez cut back towards Giroud again, and then Xhaka looked to measure one. Antonio's ball towards Masuaku. Arsenal's only away win so far at Everton and late on at Burnley, who are currently in the top 4. Amazing achievement. Sean Dyche on his side. Now Iwobi chasing this. Adrian is there.
Yeah, that little ball over the top has got to be absolutely 100% on the spot because of the surface. If it just, as soon as it bounces, it's going to zip through if it's straight. And while we thought for 1 minute he was in, it was a good run, but that sort of ball now has got to be on the angle.
West Ham fans trying to lift their side. Antonio cuts it back, but not with the pace that was really required to find Arnautovic.
He did well to keep it in and get a crossing, didn't he, Antonio? And Tadicek was reading that just at the near post, but still a good balance to this game. Arsenal have upped the ante. They're playing much quicker, much more movement off the ball, but you still feel that West Ham can get out and cause problems.
Here's Kashani, 7 years a gunner now for him. Xhaka. Maitland-Niles again. And a very profitable time at Ipswich Town a couple of seasons back, which knocked off a few edges. And part of the education, of course, for most players. Remember Jack Wilshere having that one at Bolton quite a while back. Maitland-Niles to play it in towards Giroud! Nearly. Corner's given.
Yeah, it was a good ball in, wasn't it? Come back on his right foot again. Maitland-Niles got a lot of space. Zabaleta a little bit slow getting out there. And there's the cross, but I tell you, again, it's good defending from West Ham's too. No space there. It's not a free header. He's under immense pressure. Cresswell getting a whack on the injury he got first half.
Also to swing this one in. Giroud going up for it again. He is obviously the aerial threat, and his selection in the starting lineup gives them that option, of course, on a far greater scale.
Bonner lost himself, didn't he? Look, he's not looking at the ball. He hasn't got a clue where the ball is. In the end, it hits him on the head.
Didn't know much about it. And now then, West Ham, can they counter? Obiang. Lanzini's the player on the chase, but Bellerin would win most sprints.
Yeah, he's quick, isn't he? But that's what West Ham United needed, didn't they? To get out, just a little bit of a breather, playing Arsenal's half.
Trying to just up the tempo a bit, you fancy, at the start of the second half, Arsenal. Doing most of the pressing. Trying to raise the tempo, maybe significantly. Is that the answer? Sanchez. Bellerin. Cut back towards Giroud, doesn't quite get to him. Noble can hook it gratefully away for the Hammers. Play on, says the referee. West Ham wanted the free kick, they're not getting it.
Yeah, Jonathan Ross there saying that Wilshere won the ball first, and I think he was right, but he might have brought him down.
Ozil here. Giroud is waiting in the middle. Cresswell in the nick of time with Iwobi waiting behind him. Sanchez. Tricky. Stands it up just too far for both Iwobi and Olivier Giroud. But West Ham can't get out.
They're much sharper with their passing, as I've said, but they've got to the byline as well, particularly on that left-hand side. They're getting closer to the byline. That brings Giroud in.
Ozil! Drifts it wide.
Yeah, you just think you're expecting it to nestle in the bottom corner. It's good football again from Arsenal. They're moving the ball, 1-2 touch. Look, everyone's taking 2 touches maximum. Bit fortuitous, but he's just, I don't know, was he trying to curl it, bend it round Bonner or not? I'm not sure. Frustration from Arsene Wenger, but they're turning the screw. I think someone for West Ham has got to employ themselves just inside Zabaleta over that right-hand side, because that's where Arsenal are getting in time and time again.
Here's Arnautovic. Key period of the game, you sense this. Arnautovic just getting involved there with Maitland-Niles. Xhaka playing the peacemaker on this occasion, I think.
He's having such a good game. Just concentrate on your play. Long throw coming in from Antonio again. Difficult night to get a grip on the ball.
Can't get the length he was looking for. Hooked away by Xhaka, the Swiss international player. Iwobi, one of those recalled to the starting lineup tonight. He is, of course, the nephew of JJ Okocha, the former Bolton Wanderers player who was capable of many, many wondrous acts on a football field.
What ability he had. I think this is the best for West Ham, just to try and slow things down a little bit. They've got to try and get back to a pattern of play. They haven't had any pattern in the game in the second half. First half they had good moves they put together, and this is not a bad thing. They're throwing the ball away too easy now when they go long.
Noble helping this one forward.
Yeah, just there, the crowd's anxiety as well. Noble had 20 yards of space in the centre circle. Get it down and play. Oh, lovely play from Wilshere. Yeah. Beautiful.
Turned into space, didn't he? Knew where the space was. Found Ozil. Wilshere again. It's a nice move so far, but they couldn't find the final ball.
It's great approach work from Arsenal, and as I say, look at that beautiful bit of skill, space, lays it off and keeps running again, goes again, Ozil gives it back. You're just thinking Giroud should be pulling off the back of Cresswell, coming away from the play. So he had options, but decided to stay down the centre of the pitch again.
One of those games likely to be decided, you sense, by one moment of inspiration or maybe a silly mistake.
I think that little example there is what you get from Giroud is you can put crosses in, but I think if that's Lacazette on the pitch, he pulls off the back of Cresswell, and Jack Wilshere would have found him, and that's the difference between the two players.
Lacazette is on the bench. He has got a little bit of a groin injury apparently just at the moment, nothing too much. Can't be, otherwise he wouldn't even be on the bench. Is Xhaka. Iwobi. Tenacious in that West Ham defence. And here's Antonio. Quite a run, surging run from him, a typical run. Play on. Arnautovic tries to link up with him. Used to have done pretty well up there.
Yeah, well played, referee. Playing on, he's trying to give the advantage. Arsenal this time guilty of giving the ball away in the middle third.
Antonio, Arnautovic with a near post header. Wasn't easy, tried to invent something.
Yeah, he's made a good little run. He had the two defenders to deal with, and Antonio just puts it in early. Look, he makes a lovely little darting run. Just couldn't get his head. Just half a little touch on it was needed, but this crowd's getting behind West Ham now.
And so this stadium has had its critics, but it's a good noise in here at the moment. Sanchez to Iwobi. Once again, Alexis Sanchez. Giroud. End up heading it backwards.
Yeah, Cresswell does well here, actually. Giroud's much stronger, bigger. Look, he just gets himself in that position. Is it offside? I'm not so sure. It's an arm that was failing in an offside, which isn't offside. But Cresswell does well just to get gets in an awkward position for Giroud.
Just ratcheting up the pressure, you sense, Arsenal. Since the Premier League started in 1992, West Ham have only had 7 wins over Arsenal. There's Alexander Lacazette, who's been given a rest tonight while being on the bench. That's the decision taken by Arsene Wenger. Wenger changes a bit with his selection tonight. Xhaka towards Giroud. FA Cup action for you tomorrow night. An interesting one. Hereford, a famous old cup name, playing Fleetwood Town in a replay. 7:15 BT Sport 1 HD, available in 4K UHD tomorrow. And Leicester City await the winners in the FA Cup third round. Are very much in form, Leicester City.
They are a team, Leicester, at the moment, you don't want to play. Really playing some good stuff.
It sounds like Southampton don't want to be playing them tonight.
Yeah. It's funny, you mentioned the word FA Cup and Hereford, and straight away I think of Ronnie Radford.
Yeah.
All them years ago.
Our colleague John Moxon's ever going to forget that one either.
It's interesting. Look, they've laid a towel down there now for Antonio to use. It's okay if you give Arsenal one as well.
Back to the old Stoke City. And with Rory Delap. Forward by Ogbonna. This time can't really keep hold of the ball for too long. And back it comes. Iwobi trying to measure one for Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez just on the 5 goals for the season so far. We've had the disappointment, of course, of Chile not making it to the World Cup. Maitland-Niles uses his left foot this time, took a deflection on the way through and nothing comes of it.
Yeah, good defending from Zavaleta. He's fallen for the dummy the first one, but he recovered.
Nothing like the 5-1 hammering that Arsenal administered last season on this ground, last December in fact. Arnautovic trying a little flick to Lanzini.
It's well read by Wilshere.
Lovely ball that from Xhaka. Ozil couldn't quite pick up Giroud, and he's muscled out of it by Mark Noble. He's left that a little bit short.
He did, didn't he?
And I think that's the rain getting into the surface and just slowing it up a little, to be kind to Noble.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? He defended it well, he got a clap from the crowd, and then he was looking to see an option up front. There wasn't one there. He had to turn around and go back.
Xhaka across to Jack Wilshere. Now it's Bellerin, Iwobi. Masuaku had read that though. They've got all the red alert lights on back there. West Ham, total concentration from them. Well, they're going to need it because here's Bellerin, Giroud. Sanchez just lost control at the vital moment.
That was a poor ball to him. Ian, look, he's saying Sanchez is not happy. He wants it laid back so he can hit it first time, and Giroud just smashed it into him.
Masuaku to Lanzini, little Argentine playmaker. Antonio invited to shoot almost. Didn't really get hold of it, not in the way he would have wanted anyway. Antonio's only got the 1 goal so far this season. He's capable of more, especially with headers. Here's Mark Noble again. Trying to invent something with Arnautovic. Noble goes on and on. And Maitland-Niles, with a bit of help of a couple of other defenders, made sure he didn't go any further, but that was quite inventive. Oh, it's a miscue there. Arnautovic! Cut off the line.
I think he's given a foul.
Yeah, I think a foul had been given before.
I say, let's look at this closely. The ball comes in, there's a deflection, it's spinning. Check goes for it. I don't see a foul there. No. Well, I can't see what the foul is. I really can't see a foul there, but what a chance for Arnautovic.
It's not Real who got it off the line in the end, but it wouldn't have counted it. Didn't see much, really, could you?
No, the ball didn't go out of play. It was a poor bit of goalkeeping, you've got to say.
I think there might have been a push on Koscielny.
Was there?
Take another look at that in a moment. Czech's quite relieved anyway. Here's Iwobi. Dummy from Sanchez. Ozil. It's too long for Giroud. Let's have another look at this incident again. See if Koscielny...
I think it was just before the touch. A little push on it, yeah, from Arnautovic there, pushes Koscielny. I'm looking at check whether he was barged, but he wasn't. But yeah, there's the little push, and he's pulled off him. Check wasn't to know that. It was poor goalkeeping.
Good work by the officials again. It shows how tough it is, doesn't it? We have the advantage of looking at about 3 or 4 replays.
That's the toughest job in the world.
Yeah. Here's Masuaku. Obiang. Maitland-Niles with the recovery work. Here's Jack Wilshere. How's he doing for you, Glenn? You're the expert in midfield play.
I think he's been great. I think he really has. I think he's sharp. He's hardly given the ball away. He's seen little pictures. Just needs a runner. When he gets in and around the penalty box, he needs better movement. I think Lacazette will come on. Maybe give him that type of movement.
See whether Arsene Wenger does make that change. Stuart Pearce just came out to have a little word with David Moyes and has gone back to his seat. It is about a 40-yard walk. Everybody's a long way. Some people must feel like they're in another postal district here.
Well, Arsene's not one for going out in the technical area that much, you know, and most of the managers you see here against West Ham, they're right out on the edge because Arsene's one of the crowd at the moment. They're so far back, as you say.
Back to Wilshere again. And now Xhaka. Bryant made it inside to Iwobi. Sanchez. Xhaka, and again it breaks down. It's coming back again though with Maitland-Niles. He's made a little run down the left-hand side. Ozil goes the other way. Xhaka, they're trying to work the little triangles. Maitland-Niles has got a bit of room here. Giroud to knot it down. Oh, and then Wilshere with the chance, and he couldn't keep it down.
And it was a chance, wasn't it? He's broke into the penalty area off the ball. Look at this, it's a bit of a mismatch. This is where Cresswell and Giroud gets stood up there. He's not going to win that, Cresswell. Giroud gets it down, and there's Jack Will on his right foot. Giroud not going for goal, just nodding it down. Good closing down from Ogbonna again, but that's half a chance, isn't it?
Arsenal substitution. Steve Bold and Alex Arsene Wenger not too impressed by that. Off comes Alex Iwobi to replace by Danny Welbeck. Welbeck actually scored twice for David Moyes' Manchester United side at Swansea. His first Premier League win as United manager. 4-1. Please from Arnautovic, but it's Arsenal's decision.
Monreal's been shrewd there. He's made it into something, hasn't he? Not a lot going there. When the ball was in the vicinity of the two players, afterwards there was a little bit of a tussle. It's a crucial time for West Ham. They've been really good at closing down. Now they're getting fatigued. Their legs are getting tired. They're just getting there half a yard later now, and this is a real crucial time. Will David Moyes see that and make a few substitutions? We'll wait and see.
Well, they really worked hard against Chelsea at the weekend, and they've had to do the same here, but bang in this match still. And here's Obiang bringing it away this time. Trying to just lift that ball in behind the defence. They've tried that a couple of times, Noble earlier on. Arsenal still with this problem of struggling to score in away games, Goodison Park aside. Sanchez once more. Wilshere tries to be the runner from midfield. Bellerin, Wilshere. Welbeck this time was trying to make the late run. Again, that West Ham defence. Everybody in the correct station. Giroud, Wilshere. Away by Winston Reid, and a free kick to Arsenal Central, 25 yards out.
There's a little ball round the corner there. Yeah, no ball catches him. He's just looking to play a 1-2, and he looks like he's just thrown his right foot there. Not much to it, but obviously referee right on top of it sees it as a foul. It's a fantastic position for Arsenal now.
Ozil's left foot, Sanchez's right. Two players who have been attracting a fair few headlines with their various contractual situations. Sanchez, and Adrian with another fine save, plunging low to his left. Off Bellerin, corner now.
It was a decent save, wasn't it? It was a long distance, though, for Sanchez to get there. A lot of time, dip, gets across, well within reach. A good time, he's there safely, really. Puts it into a really good area for the goalkeeper out there. And no one can follow in.
Able to swing that one in. Monreal got half ahead to it, but only that. Sanchez. Arnautovic away. Becoming a bit of a survival mission back there for West Ham, just the odd breakout. Arsenal need the win, of course, in what is likely to be a fierce battle for top 4 places. Bellerin to late, and then Giroud was waiting behind up. Bonner won the header importantly.
It was an important header, wasn't it, from Bonner? Giroud coming in on a run, really, his first time. He's come from deep.
Zabaleta tries to get it away, but once again, West Ham can't keep the ball for more than a couple of seconds.
It's 4 times now on the trot. They've defended it well. Haven't found a West Ham shirt to hold the ball up and get out. They're under pressure.
Welbeck. Had so many injury problems since he's come to Arsenal. Danny Welbeck. Ozil. Looking for that fast pass routine around the edge of the box, and again West Ham break it up. Lanzini left the ball behind. Arsenal, Wilshere got it back for them, maybe importantly because here's Welbeck. Wilshere with that great chance to put Arsenal ahead. He couldn't quite keep his volley down. Welbeck again, lays it inside. Sanchez waits for Bellerin's run, but it's not really that good a ball to him, to be honest.
No, it wasn't on the angle, was it? Bellerin made that a little overlap, but he's not happy himself, Sanchez. Look, he knows his standards are higher than that.
Another frustrating away day. Brief discussion with Steve Bold, who was part of that 1989 team. Just brought out the film about all of that when they won the title on the last day. What a finish at Liverpool. Won the title with almost the last kick of the season. It's offside this time, I think, in his heart of hearts. Arnautovic knew that.
Just veered again offside, did he? Let's have a look. This goes early, yeah. Just goes a little bit early. Koscielny does well just letting him go in there.
Sanchez robbed by Zabaleta. And again, West Ham, little groan from the big crowd here as the ball was rather given away on the cheap side. Having to do a lot of running and covering as a consequence of not having too much possession. Jack Wilshere. Xhaka. Welbeck to Bellerin. Xhaka lifts one towards the back post. Zabaleta wins the header. And West Ham just hack it gratefully away. And really only Arnautovic to aim at, and he wasn't going to win that.
I think that's been the problem second half, and what they've done, Antonio's been asked to go and play on that right-hand side, and they've got a flat four across the midfield and a back five. They can't get out.
Chicharito Hernandez is going to come on in a moment. It's come out here to Bellerin on the volley.
There's been some great blocks, isn't there, from West Ham defenders all through this game. They've had to. Arsenal are threatening, they're getting in dangerous positions, but can't find that finish, can they?
It's going to be Michail Antonio who makes way. Back to Xhaka again. Resolute defending, but Ozil stands one up. Cresswell not really away, not very well anyway. Sanchez looking to bend one. But there really is a fighting heart to this West Ham team, you sense.
They've got to clear better though. They've really got to clear two opportunities there. They got away with it. If you win the first header or clearance, make sure it goes long.
Again, same story. Just can't get out, not at all. You need somebody to hold that ball up.
Or turn them round, Ian. Turn them round, stick it right over the top.
Xhaka towards Maitland-Niles. Good defending by Antonio, who's dropped back to join the midfield in his last few moments on the pitch.
It's been for quite a while. They've played with that four and asked him to go across there.
Don't forget BT Sports score Saturday at 2:45, followed by a cracker from the Etihad. The leaders Manchester City playing Tottenham Hotspur at 5 o'clock. We're on the air with that one. And then all the big debating points thrashed out in Premier League tonight at 8 o'clock in the evening with Jake Humphrey in the chair. Welbeck's kept that in play. Giroud's struggling to keep up with him. Sanchez as well. Bonner, good defending.
Super defending, wasn't it? The pace to get out there, to take Welbeck on defensively, if you like, 1v1. Wasn't getting by him.
Bonner, who has 13 caps for Italy in his past. Not any defender gets into the Italy side. Antonio's still out there and has got this cross away. Bellerin to clear it. It's a strange ball. They've worked it okay in the end. Ten minutes remaining. Still goalless here at the London Stadium.
Hernandez still standing there waiting to come on. It's been there 5 minutes.
They still haven't made that change.
I don't think the ball's gone out in. I don't think there's been a foul or the ball's gone out for him to make that change.
Welbeck. Seeing a little too much of the ball to Masuaku. Here's Lanzini. I think David Moyes, if he gave him the point right now, it's a yes, thank you. He might have said that at 5-8.
Without a doubt he will, I think, you know, but it's heartening to see how they're playing compared to how they were at the beginning of the season. There's belief. They've got a shape, they know what they're doing, there's a real belief in the team, and I think the fans believe it as well.
Yeah, they can see that this is a much better effort from the players than they were witnessing once or twice in the season That's not to denigrate the work Slaven Bilic did in previous years with this West Ham side. So off comes Antonio. He got, well, rightfully, a big round of applause for all the work he got through tonight. Sanchez is coming off here now. And on comes Alexander Lacazette to take his place. Lacazette has got 8 Premier League goals so far. He's, well, before the start of the night, number 6 in the Premier League scoring charts, joint number 6.
Straight away he's gone out on that left-hand side. He's kept Giroud down the middle.
So can Arsenal make all this pressure pay off late on? Because that's first involvement.
I just wonder if Giroud would be better to play just a little bit wider and let Lacazette go down the middle, because he'll get diagonal balls and he'll be up against the smaller centre-backs.
Here is Lacazette trying to feed his fellow French international Olivier Giroud. Doesn't want another 2 dropped points on the road. That'll take it to 18. Not too many people heading for the exits. This one's still in the balance. West Ham's only previous drawn game here this season against Leicester, 1-1. Had 3 wins and 3 defeats apart from that. Every point might be very vital in a real old scrap down at the bottom. At the start of the night, only 4 points were separating the bottom 7. You could say the whole of the bottom half of the table
this is where
probably be involved.
Ian, this is where Arnautovic is really important. He's had a great game. He's now been asked to go and play in front of Zabaleta, and it's now really, can he switch on defensively? He's got to do his defensive job for the team here, break when they get it, but in this last, 6 minutes of the game or so, this is where he's got to change his mind as a player.
Wilshere blocked on the way through. He got hold of that. It was travelling a little bit. Also to feed it back, Xhaka. Now Maitland-Niles, 20-year-old, who's done pretty well on his introduction to the Premier League starting lineup. Big night for him, really, to start for the first time in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's looked nice and calm on the ball, isn't he? And as you say, coming through the ranks, he played in midfield, so he knows what it's like to have bodies around him, but he must feel he's got more space than ever being playing out as a left back.
5 minutes remaining. Koscielny under a bit of pressure. Bellerin to bring the ball out now. Giroud running the channel. He hasn't been able to really find that killer pass so far tonight, but then neither has anybody else, really. Bonner with the header away. He's had a great game back there. Ozil. Oh, Maitland-Niles, he's not going to get there.
Oh, that's the example for Arnautovic. He's got to switch in. He just got caught there. Fortunately for him, the ball was too far for Maitland-Niles. Look, just here, he just switches off for that second. There he is there. Oh, he's not sure. And that's the difference. He's been playing really well up front. He's had the freedom in his mind to just go and play. And now he's got to do a job for the team.
And your man of the match, Glenn, is...
I'll have a think about that a bit more, Ian.
OK, all right. You're allowed to do that. We'll send you back into the jury room.
No, I think I'm going to go for Arnautovic, because I think he's played really well. He's been excellent up front. He's worked hard. He's just got to see this off now, as I've just been saying, in his defensive position now. They've brought him back. But I think he's been excellent today.
Thank you, Glenn. Sorry to take you by surprise. Here's Bellerin backing away for it. Was that a foul? It looked a bit like one, and that's what the referee has said.
Overstretching, didn't really... Took the man first, didn't he?
He's the man of the match on the chase of the ball. He did have the ball in the net in the first half with the header. Thought he'd scored, but the flag was up, and it was up correctly for offside, as it turned out.
Well, you just see that crossfield ball there from Cresswell, and it's not a bad one at this stage of the game. You get an Arnautovic in, or you lose a throw-in right in deep in Arsenal's territory. And look, now there's a problem for Arsenal to get out. They get the throw-in, and so if you're going to miss when you're making a diagonal pass, miss long rather than short when the team can break on you.
Here's Arnautovic. It's a great run from him. Trying to dance through all those tackles. Premier League latest scores going through. Everton have won at Newcastle. Another big one that for Sam Allardyce. Leicester 4-1 winners at Southampton. Manchester City strolling it at Swansea, the bottom club. Liverpool held by West Brom, or being held. Same Manchester United just won up. Spurs 2 goals to the good against Brighton. And no goals here. Will there be late drama? Here comes the corner kick. Check to punch it away, looking to add to his record of being the man with the most clean sheets in Premier League history. Four points out of 15 so far for David Moyes, but definite signs of improvement from West Ham United. We've got a big one away to Stoke City, who've been on a bit of a bad run, you will have noticed. It's coming up at the weekend.
You can see the key ingredient is confidence. They're playing with that confidence. They do look fitter, I've got to say. Arnautovic, for instance, much fitter, much sharper. As an example.
Oh, that's a funny ball by Koscielny. And it's behind Chicharito. Lanzini was in there, battling away. Arsenal 6s in 7s. No ball finds a great ball. Chicharito and Ellis off the underside of the bar. And the referee's watch doesn't vibrate. That doesn't cross the line. And there was the chance for West Ham to win it.
Oh, without a doubt. Look, Arsenal sloppy, giving the ball away. Nice little ball there, slip there, it comes back out. What a lovely little ball this is from Noble. He just draws everyone in, just slides it in. What an effort there. Just hits the underside of the bar, doesn't go over the line. Look, you just fancy him, don't you, Rico? It's the sort of finish that he loves, that he thinks it's in. A great ball from Noble.
We were right behind that, Glenn. It looked on its way in all the way through the journey till it hit the underside of the bar.
That was a great effort, wasn't it? It really was a fantastic effort. And, you know, West Ham, that will give them a heart again. They've been unfortunate. They haven't got the 3 points, but the way they've been playing, they're finishing on a good note.
It was a crazy piece of defending by Arsenal that caused all the problems. Fell to the guy you'd want it to fall to, Hernandez.
Yeah, look, and he's wrapped his foot round it. He's gone central with the goal. The only thing is, he might have gone wider and curled it back in, but almost Check has gone past the ball. Look, David thinks it's in.
And here he is again. Hernandez has been out injured lately. That could have been some return. Arnautovic tried his luck. It's a little late flurry here from West Ham United, who've been holding on in there for most of the second half. Everybody was looking, weren't they, at John Moss when that ball bounced down to the bar. Had his watch vibrated to say over the line, it wasn't.
Is that little half shout of a penalty there? Koscielny arms all over. Rico, yeah, it goes to the floor easily, no penalty for me.
We had late goals everywhere last night. Is there going to be one here? Cresswell. It's a good free kick, well held that by Czech. Exactly what Arsenal would have wanted their goalkeeper to do there. Well, after all that Arsenal pressure or possession, anyway, it's West Ham who've come closest to scoring.
Well, you felt that all evening, that they're they looked dangerous on the break. As soon as they got into Arsenal's last third, they looked dangerous, and that's the difference than earlier on in the season.
It's a swappy ball from Zabaleta. Welbeck, now that's a free kick, and that's all come from a bit of a mistake by Pablo Zabaleta, and it's given the free kick.
There's a bit of poor concentration from Zabaleta there. There's Reed goes in. That's the free kick, excuse me. In a really dangerous position, but Zabaleta, who really fatigue and mental stress, should have cleared his lines there. Tried to play a little short ball and give it away, and that's why they've ended up with conceding this free kick in a dangerous position.
Reed misses the next game as well with that 5th booking. Now, can Arsenal steal this right at the death? Ozil and Xhaka waiting, and the West Ham fans hold their collective breath in this situation. It's Ozil, the wall has done its job. Goes behind for a corner, and that's it. No goals, point apiece here. West Ham will take that. It's another sign, really, of their improvement under David Moyes. Arnautovic had the ball in the back of the net, and then Chicharito Hernandez hit the underside of the bar in the closing moments of the game as West Ham United, having survived a lot of pressure, nearly stole it. Arsenal, well, that's 18 points dropped on the road this season. They fall further off the pace and will be disappointed they couldn't turn all that possession into something more than 1 point. Final score here, West Ham United 0, Arsenal 0.
And look at the frustration alongside me as a man who started his career here, and you know, Rio, how close he came there, Chicharito, to making a difference tonight, to making it 3 points, not 1.
Oh, I was screaming. I can't believe it. It's a great chance. I think West Ham soaked up all the pressure, everything that came their way. They had some standout performers. Mark Noble, the captain, led from the front. Zabaleta, to a man, West Ham defended perfectly today in all the occasions that came. But at the end of the day, they created the chances. They hit the crossbar. Just didn't get it over the line, but they'll take a point, I'm sure, from this game. They'll be happy with that.
Captain, he'll be happy. As far as Arsenal are concerned, Martin, that's now 3 games without a win for them. They struggled again tonight to break West Ham down. Thoughts on their performance?
Well, I think the concerning thing for Wenger is 70% possession, 21 shots, only 3 on target. And we had something similar, didn't we, against Manchester United, where couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. I didn't think it was convincing. Sanchez taken off, you rarely see that. Giroud coming into the game didn't show that he deserved that, and in the end it just petered out, and Arsenal lucky to come away with a point.
Giroud's on the pitch. It just baffles me. If I'm Giroud, I'm going in that change room and I'm throwing people about. I'm going crazy. I'm on the pitch. I'm 6'3", whatever it is. I'm a man mountain. I thrive off balls in the box. Put the ball in the box. How many times they got wide today and didn't put the ball in the box? He's standing there with his arms out, saying, "What am I here for?" He doesn't. He's not the guy you're going to play balls into and he's going to do bits and pieces, tricks like a Lacazette and get shots off. He wants the ball. He needs to feed off crosses, and they didn't put enough in.